School, where the Musselman football team just wrapped up a small, or well, I guess full team large huddle right around the SM in the middle of the field, and now they'll be making their way back to their locker room. We've seen Ripley already come out, and their players get a chance to at least walk up and down this field and mentally prepare themselves. The team's heading back to their locker rooms and getting dressed and ready as we before 7:30 here this evening. All right, let's again take a quick break. Let's take a 1-minute break, and then we will bring it back out here to Spring Mills. We'll be back in just a moment. It's West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources. It certainly has helped take us to another level.
He is the most interesting jeweler in the world. Celebrities ask for his autograph. When buying diamonds, experts ask him what they're worth. He once counted to infinity twice.
We welcome you back again to Cardinal Stadium on the campus of Spring Mills High School, where tonight it's the neutral site for a quarterfinal round matchup between the Musselman Applemen and the Ripley Vikings. Vic, as we were talking going into that mechanical break there, we were talking about Ripley reeling off 10 consecutive victories as they come in with that 10-1 record. They're 6-0 at home. They are 4-1 on the road. They're taking on a Musselman team that won 8 straight to open the season before suffering a loss against Martinsburg, but they bounced back by beating Preston to close out the regular season, and then last weekend got an impressive 60-14 win against John Marshall in the opening round of the playoffs, and that has the Applemen rolling in also at 10-1.
Yeah, this is a football team I think has a lot of pluses, and we can start with the offensive line. I think they're big. They do a good job up front. They play most of the time on the other side of the football, which is the great thing. We watched them move people off the line. As a matter of fact, watching them last week, I thought they just dominated the line of scrimmage. Maybe it did not quite indicate that to a lot of people, but they really took care of the line of scrimmage last week. I think that's going to be a big factor here tonight. If they're able to control the line of scrimmage, they can win this football game tonight. It's going to be a lot of running the football tonight, but it's not going to eliminate the passing game. If you eliminate the passing game, I think you're probably going to lose this football game, but you're going to have to run the football tonight, no question about it.
Well, and both of these teams really want to establish that run, especially this Ripley team. When you take a look at some of their numbers, their starting quarterback Cyrus Casto has thrown for 752 yards on the season, but just 78 attempts and 35 completions through 11 games.
Yeah, and that's not a whole lot. For those of you who have been around here, especially here in the Eastern Panhandle, balls are flying everywhere. But this team is Ripley is not the heir apparent type of football team that you expect coming from that particular area in the Charleston area. They like to run the football, and that's what they do. They run the football. So one of the things you have to also be concerned about is the fact that you cannot go to sleep back there in the secondary and you get one over your head, because tonight one score could be devastating to either one of these teams.
Meanwhile, this is a Musselman team that can be very balanced, and we saw that last week as starting quarterback Trey Beard not only ran for 4 scores, but threw for 4 as well.
Yes, he did. And another thing about Musselman, and I can't really say much about Ripley because obviously they don't throw a whole lot, but Musselman has the capabilities of throwing the short completions, the throws out of the backfield, your quick screens. That will work in their favor. There's not a whole lot of difficulty there. Those types of plays can be run tonight just as well as it would be if it was 65 degrees out here tonight.
Well, let's go ahead and take a scheduled break as we will then come back in just a little bit to continue to preview this matchup. But coming up next, we're sending it back to the studio. Matt Crawford is standing by, and he's got our check of the playoff schedule. He'll tell us how we've reached this point in the playoffs and what to expect in the other quarterfinal round matchups around AAA tonight and into tomorrow. This is the pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. It's West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
To see the inspirations of Miss Yu's tuxedo collection, look to the sky and stars. For the jewelry itself, come to Bechtel Jewelers for the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th. These playful pieces are a wonderland of sparkly blacks and whites, plus other festive colors. Gems like shimmering black druzy, onyx, and ice quartz adorn silver and gold. Enjoy sophisticated everyday elegance at the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th, and let your inner sparkle shine. Only at Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood.
Welcome back into the Talk Radio WRNR studios. It's time for the check of the playoff schedule. The check of the playoff schedule is a service of Kelly Allstate Insurance, a full-line insurance agency on Lakeview Drive near the intersection of Rockcliffe Drive in Martinsburg. Well, it's the quarterfinal rounds. Not too many AAA games to talk about this week. Again, the game we have tonight is Musselman hosting Ripley. Again, if you're on your way to Inwood, make sure you turn around because the game at Spring Mills tonight. So if you go to Inwood, you're going to be the only one there unless there's a group of you who forgot where the game was. Again, Spring Mills tonight. Kick off the exact same time, 7:30. Make sure you get down there. But if you can, again, keep it tuned right here to Talk Radio, WRNR TV 10 or WRNR TV on YouTube. Let's look at the games happening tomorrow night. Tomorrow during the day, I should say. It's Capital and Hedgesville. Hedgesville coming off a amazing win last week. They come from behind win last week, down 21-0 at one point in the first half. They battle back, and a kick return by Niger Smith would make it 35-29, the final score. The big upset in AAA last week. Number 11, Hedgesville, beating number 6, Parkersburg South. They're facing a Capital team, had no problems in the first round. The number 3 Capital Cougars coming into this week at 10-1. They came into the playoffs at 9-1 as the number 3 seed last week. They beat the Morgantown Mohegans, who were the 14 seed. Score of that game was 42-0. So again, Capital, no trouble with that one at all. So Saturday at 1:30, tomorrow at 1:30, we will have that. We will not have that game, but scoring updates from that game, I should say, during the Martinsburg-Parkersburg game. Let's talk about that Martinsburg-Parkersburg game. Again, tomorrow at 1:30, our pregame will begin at 12:30 or 12, whichever way you want to look at it. We'll have sort of a pregame tomorrow, a abbreviated Miller time at 12 noon, leading us right up to that 12:30 pregame show, 1:30 kickoff from Coburn Field. Martinsburg, again, no problems in that first round. Another shutout. They've had 4 shutouts in their last 5 games. The only one that wasn't a shutout, that late field goal that Hedgesville kicked, so 3 points, the only non-shutout in the last 5 games. 35-0 was your score last week. The number 1 Martinsburg Bulldogs coming in at 11-0. They've won 39 straight back-to-back state champions. They're looking to face Spring Valley again in the state championship this year. Spring Valley, the number 2 seed, they're expecting to make it back to Wheeling Island Stadium. On the other side of that game, it's Parkersburg. The Big Red coming in, kind of an upset, but they were in that 8-9 matchup. Parkersburg coming in at that number 9 seed. They upset number 8 Wheeling Park last week, but again, that's more of a pick'em game than anything. Final score of that one, 28-21. Parkersburg and Martinsburg tomorrow at 1:30. Again, the pregame right here on Talk Radio WRNR TV 10 and WRNR TV at 12:30 is when the official pregame starts. We will have a pregame, sort of an abbreviated Miller time tomorrow from 12 to 12:30. Prior to that game, including some reaction from the game tonight that we are covering, Musselman and Ripley. And the only other game tomorrow, it's Spring Valley and Huntington. Spring Valley taking on Huntington. Spring Valley coming in at that number 2 seed. They won big last week over Eastern Panhandle School. Spring Mills 77-7, the final score of that one. That was a 2 beating a 15. No issues with that one for Spring Valley. They're now 11-0 on the season. Other side of that game is Huntington. Huntington coming in at 8-3, now 7-3 throughout the regular season. And the tough win last week, a 14-7 decision over number 10 Cavill Midland. So a tight game and one of the tighter matchups you'll see, that 7-10 matchup. 14-7 again, that final score. So Spring Valley and Huntington, the winner of that game will get the winner of Capital and Hedgesville in the state semifinals. And then if everything goes as planned on the other side of the bracket, if both the higher seeds win, it could be a Eastern Panhandle semifinal where Martinsburg would host Musselman. That would be quite a showing, although if you are going by the score from earlier in the season, wouldn't be that great of a game. Again, the Bulldogs got to win over the Applemen earlier in the season. Final score of that one was 70-0 just a few weeks back. That is your check of the playoff schedule, brought to you by Kelly Allstate Insurance at 724 Lakeview Drive near the intersection of Rockcliffe Drive in Martinsburg. Phone 304-263-8596. Make sure you keep it tuned here at halftime and in the postgame. We'll have scores from not only AAA, but from around the Mountain State in this quarterfinal round of the playoffs. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We welcome you back into the pregame show, brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services from home and office automation to home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Give them a call at 304-350-1931. Along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller. Back at the studio, our engineers, Matt Crawford and Caleb Falero. Our TV10 cameraman is Chip Rittenhouse. Well, we are at Spring Mills High School, the neutral site for tonight's quarter-final round playoff showdown between the Musselman Applemen and the Ripley Vikings. Vic, let's begin to break down this Musselman team just a little bit. A team that, as we mentioned earlier, can be a dual-threat team. They're led by Trey Beard. The starting quarterback has thrown for over 1,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, and just 4 interceptions. You like what he's been able to do, producing great numbers while protecting the football.
Yes, he's done it all this year back there at the quarterback spot. You got to think about it. 11 ball games and 4 interceptions. That's phenomenal. And one of the things about it also, the fact that he takes care of the football. We saw him last week, and we saw him throw a couple footballs away. I mean, throw him out of bounds. He had no one open. He didn't put it up for grabs, so he did protect the football like a good quarterback should. He's a great leader for this football team, and having a guy back there and having the confidence that he has, and I'll tell you what, and he goes in and you can tell he has command of the huddle. I thought he's done a great job from the 2 games that we have seen thus far this year.
The senior taking over the starting role this season is a dual-threat quarterback. He has also run for 675 yards and added 14 additional rushing touchdowns. He is the second leading rusher on the team in both attempts and yards. Tough to defend a guy like that.
Yes, it is, and being a dual threat makes it even that much tougher because, again, he's the type guy who can roll out there, throw it, or run it and then throw it. He can do a lot of things, and he presents problems that probably I don't think this Ripley team may have seen maybe once or twice all year. But if you don't see it on a regular basis, it's tough to defend against. And I think he's going to be the big key. If they can control him, I think they feel like they've got a shot.
Well, you look back to a season ago, and you saw Jacob Northcraft back there running the football, and you wondered what was this team going to do to try to replace those rushing yards. Well, step up the sophomore, Blake Hartman, who had an outstanding freshman year a year ago. He's run for 1,202 yards, 17 rushing touchdowns, and Hartman a dual threat as well because he'll catch the football. 33 catches, 588 yards, and 6 scores. Multiple weapons for Trey Beard to find in this offense.
You're exactly right, and that's another one of the things we had talked about previously is the fact that they can still throw the football. And even though tonight is one of those nights you say, oh, it's cold and it's windy, it's wet, all those types of things that are negatives, but there are a lot of positives here as well. The thing is, if you give up on your passing game, or not necessarily give up, but if you curtail that too much, it's really going to hurt you. I think if you go back to last week, the Martinsburg game, I thought Martinsburg got a bit conservative early in the ball game because the wind was blowing, it was cold and all that sort of thing, but they figured out, they made through a couple passes and say, hey, it's not that bad, and then all of a sudden the offense opens up. And then they put a lot of pressure on the defense, which changed the whole game around. I thought was the whole complexion of the game changed when Martinsburg threw a couple passes, completed a couple passes. Now all of a sudden you can't put 8, 9, 10, 11 guys in the box and stop the run.
Well, let's turn our attention to this Musselman defense that has been outstanding all year as well. A defense that is giving up only 18 points a game throughout 11 games, but only 13 points a game through all but that Martinsburg game. And I kind of throw that aside because they gave up 70, and it's a rare occasion when a team goes through a game like that. You're talking about a defense that has been very consistent this year.
Yeah, we can't excuse the Martinsburg game, but we can excuse the Martinsburg game. That was just something that just happened. And it was one of those things where Martinsburg was working on all cylinders, had everything going its way, whatever. But let's talk about all the other ball games. They've controlled everyone else pretty much defensively, and I think tonight is going to be another one of those things where I don't know. I don't know what the game plan is going to be or what have you, but if I'm Musselman, I'm playing Ripley, I'm going to be playing man-to-man and on the wideouts, and I'm going to be able to bring my linebackers, sometimes my free safety, and I'm going to put a lot of pressure on them out there. So I think with their ability, and they got some good guys in the secondary, this could be an interesting contest.
Almost a dare you to throw the football.
Exactly. That's what it's going to boil down to. Especially, you don't throw it during the year anyway, and you come out in conditions like this, you may throw it, but you're not going to throw it very much. I'm saying basically, beat me with your throw. You're not going to beat me with your run. So I'm going to crowd that line of scrimmage a little bit more tonight than I normally would.
Well, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to hear from 6th-year Musselman head coach Brian Thomas, get his thoughts on last week's playoff opening win against John Marshall and his thoughts heading into tonight's matchup against these Ripley Vikings. That conversation, a service of Parsons Ford, 1400 Shepherdstown Road in Martinsburg. In the market for a new or used vehicle? Check out their great selection online at parsonsfordofmartinsburg.com. We became number one by making you number one first. Parsons. You're listening to West Virginia High School Football, playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and watching on TV 10.
When you do the same thing for 135 years, you learn to do it well. For 135 years, we've been helping families through the hardest times of their lives. That's because we're a family as well. When your family loses a loved one, we're here to help. We're Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
The W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. It is time now to hear from Musselman Appleman's sixth-year head coach, Brian Thomas. The Appleman coming off of an impressive win over John Marshall in last week's playoff opener, 60-14 the final.
Yeah, I feel like, you look back at what we've done all season, the 10 games leading up to this, I think that was the best game that we've played, just as far as all three aspects, offense, defense, and special teams. Not saying we played perfect, but, overall evaluating, offensively, I thought we played really, really well. Defensively, we won the game, really. I think defensively and special teams, we didn't have any errors or any mess-ups on special teams. So, you always want to peak at this time of the year. And I think, if you judge last week's game, I think we did that.
Does it mean even more to you that you were able to do that in some pretty adverse conditions against a playoff team?
Yeah, John Marshall, they were coming in the game, they were 6-4, but they won some good games, and they were a good, you don't get into the playoffs by accident. They were a good football team. I think that we made them look like a bad football team just because I thought our kids came out really focused and played really well. But I think going back to that word focus, I think our kids came out and I think they had a purpose last week. And that to me as a coach, I think not worried about the field condition, just worrying about, hey, we got to win this football game and we got to make it to the next round. I think that really took over.
You've talked to us all season long about taking steps ahead, going from 8 wins to 9 wins, going from an opening round playoff game to now the quarterfinal round. How good does that feel?
Yeah, it feels really good. I think there's so many things I could talk about, but just, to preach to these kids constantly about the hard work paying off, and they're seeing that happen now. Like you said, we have talked about that all year. We wanted to get past the 8-2 mark, and we did. We got to the 9-1 mark. We wanted to get to that first round playoff game and have a home playoff game and win that home playoff game, and we did that. So, we continue to take those steps. At the same time, we don't want to be satisfied here. Now our next step is let's get to the semis.
The team that's in the way of that next step, the Ripley Vikings. You couldn't get probably farther away from here than there. What do you know about them?
Physical, very physical. They're going to line up and run right at you. The biggest thing that when I put on the film and watched them on film is the effort. They play with a great amount of effort. Their kids play really hard. And, that's something that we preach to our kids. We constantly talk about if you're going to mess up, if you give great effort, that'll kind of make up for your mess ups. And I see that a lot in them. I think any team that comes out like that, they present problems. They're going to come in here Friday ready to go. And we're going to preach and talk to our kids this week about starting fast. If we can start fast and get up on them early and kind of take away some of their effort, then I feel good about our chances. If we let them come out and dictate how the game's going to go with their effort, then we could be in for a long night.
Do they remind you of any team that you've seen during the course of the season, or is this kind of a new animal?
John Marshall. Okay. Honestly, we've played so many teams this year that will spread you out, and some teams will spread you out to throw the ball 50, 60 times a game. Some teams will spread you out in order to run the ball. John Marshall's really the only team that we played that will go under center and just come right at you, and Ripley's a lot like that. They're a better version, no offense to John Marshall, but they're a way better version of John Marshall. I think they're more, they're more physical, but they're going to line up and they're going to come right at you. But they have some really good athletes that if they get in space, they can make big plays as well. So we're going to have to play really sound against these guys.
A little advantage having seen John Marshall just last week that you're seeing someone similar this week?
Yeah, definitely. Just because we sit there and go over as a coaching staff, and we sit there and go over the game plan. A lot of the calls, a lot of the checks are going to be the same things. The very similar formations and things that we just got done lining up to. I don't know if I want to say advantage, but it's good for us just because we don't have to come in and we're not facing a completely different team this week. Like I said, a better team, but schematically we're seeing a lot of the same things.
And that is Musselman head coach Brian Thomas. We'll continue to preview the matchup as we get ready for tonight's quarterfinal round showdown with Musselman and Ripley on the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. This is West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
In there. We welcome you back to the W. Harley Miller Systems pregame show. Time to go in the huddle as we talk with some Musselman players. Brought to you by the Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors Phil McCoy and John Everson. Call Ameriprise Financial Services at 304-263-4343 or stop by 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Today we got a chance to catch up with Ethan Wilson, Davin Shade, and we get it started with Ethan Walker talking about that Musselman defense against John Marshall.
I think we came out pretty physical, came out with a good mindset, good intention, great focus, and that translated onto the field. And obviously, only giving up 14 points is a good way to start the playoffs off.
David, you had a pretty good game on both sides of the football, but take us to that defensive side. What did you see that maybe gave you guys an advantage in that game?
Kudos to Coach Smith for preparing us the whole week for this offense, and we always trust what he's got, what his plan is for every game. So coming in, we had that fumble, and a lot of players are kind of thinking, oh, it's going to be like this. So we got to get ready, and we did. And, we stopped them on the first drive, and then we scored on the second. So that's what prepared us for it.
You mentioned that fumble. That could have really, changed things early on in this game. I'm going back to Ethan. David, I'll come back to you as well. How big a stop was that for the defense as you were quickly out onto the field?
I think it was a great stop. I mean, seeing that fumble, everybody on the defense, I think, honestly, everybody on the field was glad to get back out there on defense, get ready to go after them and show them, how physical and our aggressiveness and everything. So I think looking forward to it, our defense was looking forward for that stop, yeah.
David, take us to that stop again and just the way the defense was able to rise to the occasion.
Coming in, John Marshall was a physical team, so we know we got to be more physical. They came out and they was like a 4th down and 1, I believe, and then they got that, and we know we had to step up then so we could get the ball back, and we did. And then bringing that back on offense, we knew we had them because the first play we got like 20 yards off of it, and then it was a fumble, so we knew we could run on these dudes, so it was pretty good.
Did the defense provide some momentum when your offense came back out there again?
Yeah, it definitely did. Definitely gave us some energy to get out in the field and try to punch one in.
Coaches talked to us about how well the offense played. Why do you think you were able to click the way that you were on a pretty tough night to play?
We just executed well. The linemen were doing good, getting a good push, just making plays.
You were able to run the ball and pass the ball. How much fun is it when your offense is able to do both?
We can do both. We're pretty good because it's a dual threat.
All right, now you're listed as a tight end, but I'm watching you catch some, I guess you call them tight end screens, wide receiver screens. What's it like for you to be kind of in there on the line, but also where you can line up a little away from everything?
I like playing both. It's fun being out wide and inside. It gives me different ways to get the ball.
Do you like the outside better than the inside, or do you like the contact? You want to be in there and be physical?
It doesn't matter to me. I like them both. Just like playing the game.
Well, and obviously a big game. Let me ask all three of you, what's it mean to get that win and to advance to this second round, to keep taking the steps that you guys, reaching the goals really, that you guys have set all throughout the course of the year?
It's really nice, setting the bar for this, program, and for the underclassmen to look up to and to try to beat that bar. So that's kind of what we feel like is what our duty is just to keep this underclassmen, keep on raising the bar for us and stuff. That's what our mentality is just keep on raising the bar and exceed this program on different levels that we've never seen.
Yeah, it's nice because the last couple of years we lost in the first round of the playoffs, so it's really nice to get a win and get deeper in the playoffs and try to make a run in it.
Yeah, I agree. Coming off of, playing our sophomore and junior year, getting beat in the first round, it was really our goal this year coming into the season to win a playoff game, and being able to come out here and perform as well as we did, I think that gives us a great confidence booster for going into the next week and then previous weeks to come.
Let's talk about your next opponent. What is it that you see in the Ripley Vikings? Let's start again on that defensive side, or what would be their offense. What do you see and what they bring in here?
Watch them film on them throughout the weekend, and they're a very physical team. They like to get after it. They like to, go to the ball, get there. So defensively, I think just keep that same mindset of, we're going to come after you, we're going to be on you, and keep that aggressiveness up. And I think we'll be fine as long as we finish that and do that.
All right, Ethan. How about for your offense against their defense? What's the challenge they present?
They're a physical team. They're big and strong. I think if we execute and do our stuff right, I think we'll be good offensively.
David, how focused is this team on getting to that semifinal round? Focused on the Ripley Vikings right now, but knowing what can come with a victory.
We're really focusing. We've had this bar set since December that we've wanted to reach more farther than the playoffs. So our focus is probably better than we've seen all season because we have a task at hand and we need to complete it.
Thanks to Ethan Wilson, Ethan Walker, and David Shade for joining us in the huddle. Brought to you by the Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors Phil McCoy and John Everson. Call Ameriprise Financial at 304-263-4343 or stop by 1270 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Stay tuned for more of the pregame show. This is West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Back again here at Cardinals Stadium, the home of the Spring Mills Cardinals. Tonight, it is the neutral site for a quarterfinal round AAA matchup with the 4-seed Musselman Appleman taking on the 5-seed Ripley Vikings. The game moved here for the artificial turf surface that is looking pretty good considering the amount of snow, sleet, and freezing rain that fell yesterday. Again, kudos to all of those who were out here from 8 o'clock this morning on, working to clear this field and have it ready to go for this matchup here tonight. Along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller at the studio. Our engineers, Matt Crawford and Caleb Falero. Our TV 10 cameraman is Chip Rittenhouse. Vic, let's take a little deeper look at this Ripley Vikings team, a team that hasn't been in this situation since 2009. It has been 9 seasons ago since the last time they were in the playoffs, and they're hoping that it's not 9 more years, but it has become a bit of a pattern. I want to take you all the way back to 2002 when the Vikings finished 10-2, losing in the quarterfinal round at Riverside 47-14 after opening with a win against Buchanan Upshur 26-14. It would take them 7 years to get back into the postseason. That was 2009. They finished 9-3 as again they got a win in the opening round, knocking off Nicholas County 21-14 before falling at Brooke 34-14. Then it was 9 years till this year before they're back in the playoffs, and they're coming off of a big win against Greenbrier East last week, 43-15 to open the postseason, and a win here tonight would put them into the semifinals for the first time in a long time, or perhaps even the first time in program history.
Well, I think they feel like they're improving. I mean, if you go back and you take a look at their schedule and so forth, they played Greenbrier, I think Greenbrier East earlier in the year, and I think it was a 2-point football game, and then they got into the playoffs, and they just kind of just destroyed them, dismantled them completely. And they had been progressing as the year had gone on. As we had talked about, they lost their opening game of the season to Parkersburg South, but of course, ran the table from there on out. So this is a team that obviously is progressing and maybe progressing and peaking at the right time.
Well, it is a team that is averaging 37 points a game. They have scored 403 points while giving up 200, which is about 18 a game. So you look at the numbers, and very similar to what the Musselman Applemen have been able to do during the course of this season. They are a team that is 4-1 on the road, and a team that comes in wanting to run the football. Vic, we're watching them right now as they go through some of their warm-ups, and they are lining up in that run formation. They average 311 yards a game on the ground.
Yeah, they're just going to come right at you. That's all there is to it. I mean, most of the time, you probably rarely will we see an empty backfield with no backs other than the quarterback in the backfield. We're going to see at least one back. A lot of times the old stick eye formation with the fullback, tailback behind him, the old green bay sweep, quick pitches, those types of things. You're going to see that. So it's going to look like old-fashioned football, and that's what they live and die off of, and they do it very, very well.
Well, the question will be, will they have their top tailback, R.J. Evans, 198 carries, 1,450 yards, and 20 rushing touchdowns through 11 games. But I got some game notes from the Ripley radio station that is here tonight to broadcast to their fans back in that part of the state, and it has a marking beside of Evans' name, injured. And boy, if he is not able to play tonight, he's a huge weapon. In his career, he's at 3,121 yards and 33 rushing touchdowns.
Well, that's a blow to anybody's team if you take that amount of offense off the field. And, of course, when you have a guy like that, everybody depends on him, not only the team, but individually as a player. The offensive linemen, they feel like, if I can just get a block on this guy, if I can get on this guy can run, that Evans can run around him and get that extra yard for the first down or what have you. But not having him out there, believe me, it's a question mark in the back of their mind. And if Musselman can get up early in this football game, I think it would really hold very, very well for them. If they can get up early in this ball game to instill some the second thought that, hey, we're in trouble. Our leading runner is not here, and we're behind in the football game.
Well, if he is going to play, he is in uniform, because we just watched a handoff to R.J. Evans, and so it looks like he might be available, or perhaps this is that opportunity for the coaching staff to see if he will be able to be available in this one. Whether he is or isn't, you've also got to keep an eye on Jeremy Harper, their second leading rusher with 137 carries. He's at 991 yards, meaning he needs only 9 yards tonight to reach the 1,000-yard mark, and it would be the first time in Ripley football history that they have had a pair of 1,000-yard rushers in the same backfield. Vic, if you're rushing like that, they're playing pretty well up front.
No question about it. I mean, I'm just watching them here in the pregame and what they try to do, and it's, as I said before, it's just good old-fashioned football. It's straight-ahead blocking, it's trap blocking, where the guard on the right side pulls across the line of scrimmage and hits preferably the linebacker or tackle on the other side, and the back runs up inside it. That's old-fashioned football. Again, the quick pitch, the sweeps, as we've talked about that, the off-tackle play with two backs leading ahead, and they even have some option in there with the quarterback either running it or pitching it. So good old-fashioned football is what this team basically does on offense.
All right, and you mentioned old-fashioned football. Tell us a little about what we saw a few minutes ago, some old-fashioned warm-up, if you will. You said, hey, that looks like the old bull in the ring.
The old bull in the ring, and you talk about old-fashioned, and those folks guys who played football and in the good old days, the bull in the ring, where you're in the ring and you got a whole circle of your teammates in there, and you point to a guy and he comes in and he tries to take your head off, and you try to take his head off, and you go at it, and then he's in, and then he points to the next guy. So this is a throwback team. I'm not saying it in being sarcastic or anything of that nature. It's just if you're 10-1, something's working for you.
Well, and what is working is fourth-year head coach Eddie Smolder, who's done a very good job with this program as he's taken the team from 3-7 in that first year in 2015 to 4-6 in back-to-back years, 2016 and 17, and now here they are this year, 10-1 coming into this one. He is a Ripley graduate and was part of the 1997 team that in the AAA playoffs lost on the road in this very quarterfinal round matchup against who else? The Hedgesville Eagles. But that also means he was a part of that Ripley team that was a 16 seed to upset number 1 Morgantown that year that led to that matchup against Hedgesville. So he's familiar with this Eastern Panhandle, and I would say that's a little bit of where that old school style comes from.
Most certainly, and I'm sure he's told that story, especially the one with Morgan in the Morgantown game. But again, as you said before, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you do it well, it can be successful, and you don't have to have all the modern techniques and all the modern gimmicks that are out there today. You just be efficient in what you do, it'll work for you, and it's done it for this football team, as I said before, somewhat on the old-fashioned side, meaning the fact that good old-fashioned football in comparison to 3, 4, 5 wideouts and throw the ball over the field.
Yeah, old-fashioned football still works.
It still works.
All right. Hey, if you're not familiar with Ripley, it is just about halfway between Parkersburg and Charleston, and that means, it's 289 miles from the Eastern Panhandle, and right now it would take you about 4 hours and 18 minutes to get to Ripley, and that is a trip that we understand this team will be making after this game. Will it be one where they will be celebrating a trip to the semifinals, or will it be Musselman who looks to get to the semifinals and potentially a rematch against the Martinsburg Bulldogs, as the winner of this one will get the winner of tomorrow's matchup between Martinsburg and Parkersburg? Well, we will find out once this one kicks off in just about 13 minutes. We need to take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll jump into our keys to the game for each of these teams. Our pregame brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. They provide custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio, video distribution, and more. Give them a call at 304-350-1931 or go online to WHMsystems.com. Back in 60 seconds, you're listening to West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and watching on TV 10. Spring Mills High School, where tonight it's Musselman and Ripley in the 4-5 matchup in the quarterfinal round of the AAA football playoffs. Time for us to take a look at keys to the game, and they're being brought to you by Chris Luttrell at Luttrell LC. Let Chris hand you the keys to your new home for all of your real estate legal needs. Call Luttrell LC at 304-267-3050. Vic, we have a tendency to start with that visiting team, so let's look at the Ripley Vikings. What are you looking at as keys for them?
Well, I think one of the things is the fact that they have to come in and feel settled. I think this is a long trip, a lot of things go on. Believe me, coaching, you're taking kids, out of their comfort zone to another area, overnight trips. There's a whole lot of things that are involved. You got to get them involved and back into football. I think that's one of the things, get them settled into playing football. Hopefully he's done that in the locker room before they got here. I think that's one of the big keys. I think keys to the game tonight is going to be for both teams. I don't think it's going to be a separation from one or the other, because I think they both have to do the same thing. Number one is they have to take care of the football. Tonight is a good night for fumbles. I guess any night's a good night for fumbles if you're on the other team, but it's a good night for fumbles because of losing the football, making tackles, hands getting cold, and that sort of thing. Secondly, field position. I think it's going to be very, very key, and I think both of these teams have good kicking games. So I think punting the football is going to be important, and fielding that ball and not letting it get by you, as we saw last week in a couple games. Punts went by guys and rolled for another 15 or 20 yards. So field position is going to be very, very important as far as the punts and kicks are concerned. And the last thing is you got to secure tackling. If you don't, you lose a guy. He's going to run for 15, 20 yards, or may break it for a score. I think you've got to do a good job of tackling here tonight, and that is going to be hard to do again because of the weather conditions, and as it gets colder here tonight, it's going to be that much tougher. So I think, all in all, in a nutshell, you have to play with as few mistakes as possible. You have to do the things that you would be doing if it was 80 degrees outside.
And that's what you have to do at this stage of the postseason, good weather or bad weather. We'll see which team can do it tonight. Let me throw you a quick statistic, and you would, I'm sure, go, wow, I wouldn't have expected that from a team that comes in at 10 wins, 1 loss. You talk about protecting the football. This is a Ripley team that is actually -6 in the turnover margin this season.
I wouldn't expect it.
No.
I would not have expected that. But, and tonight, again, we're talking about a totally different animal than what you've seen all year long.
Well, the keys to the game brought to you by Chris Luttrell at Luttrell LC, locally owned. They know the business and they're part of the community. You can win every time when it comes to your real estate legal needs. Just call Luttrell LC at 304-267-3050. That'll be the final words on our pregame show, a service of W. Harley Miller Systems. We'll come back with a look at our starting lineups, get you ready for the opening kick and all the play-by-play. First, a 2-minute timeout, then more West Virginia high school playoff football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
W Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population, of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
Welcome back again to Cardinal Stadium on the campus of Spring Mills High School, where tonight the Musselman Applemen take on the Ripley Vikings, a neutral site for this quarterfinal round showdown. Musselman the 4 seed, Ripley the 5 seed, each picking up wins in their opening round of playoff games last week. Before we get into the starting lineups, the crowd on hand here rising to their feet as the Musselman High Marching Band has taken to the field, and we are going to pause for the playing of our national anthem, then a look at today's starting lineups. Very nicely done. Our national anthem from the Musselman High School Marching Band. Time for a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist. If your vehicle is not starting properly, start at D&N to get it fixed right the first time. Family owned and operated since 1974. Call 304-267-4078. We begin with the visiting Ripley Vikings. Their starting quarterback is Cyrus Casto. Joining him in the backfield, Jeremy Harper as the fullback. The tailback is R.J. Evans. The wide receivers are Evan King on one side and Dalton Myers on the other. The tight end is Dawson Anderson. And along that front line, J.T. Horn and Andrew Dolan are tackles. Matthew Moore and Chris DeFrank are guards. And Caden Keeler is the starting center. Defensively, they'll have 3 down linemen with Andrew Dolan and Jake Lawrence as defensive tackles. It is Caden Keeler as the nose guard. Cam Ramsey is a corner along with Evan King, while the safety is Josh Kay. And then the linebackers are R.J. Evans, Chris DeFrank, Dalton Myers, Dawson Anderson, and Justin Wheeler. Vic, one thing I noticed there, a lot of guys going both ways.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, they have a lot of guys going both ways, but there again, you know, these are guys, these are high school players, and I'll tell you what, try sitting one of those guys who goes both ways. He's not going to like it at all. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. I mean, I know when I was I played offense and defense both. You know, it was just a natural. And if a guy's good enough, then he should be out there playing both.
Team captains meeting at midfield as we turn our attention to the starting lineup now for the Musselman Applemen. At the quarterback position will be Trey Beard. In the backfield, Sebastian Odom and Blake Hartman. Wideouts are Kagan Teets and Davin Shade. Ethan Wilson is the tight end. Adam Taylor and Gerald Butler are tackles. Scott Murray and Chris Reinhardt are guards. And Ethan Northcraft is the starting center. Defensively for Musselman, Ethan Wilson is a defensive defensive end, along with David Shade, Adam Taylor, and Nate Cole, our defensive tackles. Linebackers, Chris Reinhardt and Sebastian Odom. Defensive backs, Caleb Hardy, Trevin Carter, Blake Hartman, and Ben Bartles, and the free safety is Ethan Walker. Starting lineups brought to you by D&N Auto Specialist, where honesty is their best policy. They specialize in exhaust alignments and tires. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078. Vic, you were watching the coin flip. It looks like Ripley's going to get the football.
Yes, they are. Ripley's going to get the football here to start this football game as both teams enter the field right now. It's going to be interesting. I actually think Ripley actually won the toss, and I think they've elected to go ahead and take the football first. So let's see what happens.
Well, this Ripley offense wants to be the one then to set the tone in getting this one started. Ripley will be on the far sideline. They wear the blue pants with the white jersey tops, blue numerals, and the blue football helmet with the white face mask. Along the near sideline, the Musselman Appleman in the white pants with the Kelly green jersey tops, white lettering and red trim, and the Kelly green football helmets. Musselman will head out onto the field. Looks like they will kick it off, moving from left to right, so the return will come from right to left. Again, you can see that glaze, if you will, across this artificial surface. The temperature above freezing, but I'm sure it will get a little slick out there, especially as this evening goes along and the temperature continues to drop. Going back deep for Ripley. Along that far sideline looks to be Evan King, and along this near sideline, Cameron Ramsey. And the kick is popped up very short along the near side hash mark, and one of the up men grabbing that one for Ripley as Wyatt Cottrell. He is a junior, listed as a linebacker and an offensive lineman, made the heads-up play to grab that one as he went to the ground. Ripley has it at their own 46.
Yeah, you're right. Looked like they weren't expecting that, and that thing was just popped up in the air, and good reaction in catching the football and going straight down to the ground. This is what we talk about, field position. They got excellent field position here on the first series.
On first down and 10, Cyrus Casto is up under center, has a tight slot and two wideouts to his right. A single set in the backfield. That single set, a fullback. There is the snap. They fake the handoff. Casto keeps it, trying to turn the corner on the right side. Cannot do it. That's the free safety up there, Ethan Walker, who makes the tackle in the backfield back at the 41 for a loss of 5.
Well, we thought we were going to see the old-fashioned huddle up and come out of the huddle, but they don't huddle. They get the signal from the sideline that time, and so they're receiving the signal. I thought they felt like they had something to get outside with the quarterback on a dive play, fake to the fullback and keeping it. But good job that time. Musselman right on top of that one.
Lining up at the fullback position is Jeremy Harper, while to the left side in a tight slot is R.J. Evans. Inside handoff going to the big fullback, and over top of the right side of his line, he gets met after a gain of maybe a yard and then taken down. Looks like they'll give him 2 out to the 43, so Harper picks up a pair, and it brings up a 3rd down and 13.
Big down coming up here, 3rd and 13. It's going to be a tough situation, I think, here for Ripley, the Vikings.
Casto up under center. 3 receivers here to the left. R.J. Evans, the tight slot, right outside of the tackle. Once again, the fullback is Jeremy Harper. Now Evans goes into the backfield in motion, takes the deep handoff, and then right up the middle gets stopped after a very short gain. Blake Hartman right there to help make the play. Look like Walker was in there as well. That gain will be good for just 1, and the punting unit going to have to come on. So they brought Evans in motion into the backfield. He quickly lined up behind Harper as the fullback. They gave Evans the football. Their leading rusher, who we understand a little banged up coming in, didn't get but a yard, and the punting unit is on. Ready to get it out of there is Davison Flint, and his kick, a low line drive angling far side, bouncing at the 25, and then taking a Ripley roll out of bounds along the far sideline inside the 20 at the 15-yard line.
No, it's awfully early in the football game, Matt. And, of course, obviously I have not seen Ripley this year play, but I have seen Musselman play. I think we're seeing a little bit more quickness and speed on the Musselman side, and we saw that on a couple of the plays, the run plays, that Musselman just simply attacked and got across the line of scrimmage. And we talked about field position being very, very important. I think in the first series, obviously, Ripley had excellent field position. Now Musselman with, of course, not their back against the wall, but, you know, they've got 85 yards in front of them.
From their own 15 after the 41-yard punt and no return, Musselman football. In the backfield, awaiting that snap, Trey Beard. A man in motion, that's Sebastian Odom, who comes into the backfield. They will hand it off to Odom, and straight ahead, he'll power his way out close to the 20-yard line. He'll have a gain of 4, as it looks like they'll mark him just shy of the 20. Sebastian Odom, pretty good numbers running the football as well. 82 carries, 545 yards, and 4 scores. Their third leading rusher. Second down, 6 after that pickup of 4. Odom again in the backfield, single set behind Beard, who's got 3 receivers here to the right, a single receiver to that far side. Awaiting that snap. Play clock down to 7 seconds. Hartman goes in motion into the backfield, and they'll pitch him the football coming near side. Little cutback move to the 20, out to the 25, splits a couple of defenders to the 30, outraces everyone to the 40, near side midfield stripe, and finally dragged down from behind at the 45, make it the 44 of Ripley, and there you saw the speed of Blake Hartman.
Yeah, you saw the speed of Blake Hartman. Also, you saw the speed of Musselman in comparison. That was he outran a couple guys about near the line of scrimmage there, 1st and 10. And again, nice job by the guys up front, just maintaining their blocks.
37 yards on that carry from the 44 of the Vikings on 1st down and 10. Beard has the shotgun snap, slings it out far side, wide receiver screen, a little low and in and out of the hands of his intended target. Wanted to get that one to Ethan Wilson. He's listed as a tight end, 6'3", 220, but when they can get the senior the football out there like that, he's tough to bring down.
He most certainly is. He should have made that catch there. That was a good throw. I think what he tried to do was to catch it and make a cut at the same time. He should have just kept coming toward the football and, you know, take what you can get.
2nd and 10 after that incompletion. Again from the Ripley 44, ball on the near side hash mark. This time Beard fakes the handoff. He keeps it. Good push by that offensive line. It becomes a rugby scrum, pushing the pile down inside the 40, and they'll mark him close to the 37. That gain for Beard would be good for 7 yards and set up a 3rd down and 3.
Well, I think the confidence is looming here for Musselman. They feel like they can run the football. They're doing, again, a good job up front, maintaining the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and short, 3 backs lined up in an eye to the left side of the quarterback out of the shotgun. Handoff to the deep man, and a nice job underneath as Blake Hartman got hit and tripped up very quickly.
I think that was the linebacker that time, Dalton Myers, number 45. They basically, you know, sometimes in a 3-5, sometimes in a 4-4. This time they're in a 4-4 set, 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers, 3 deep secondary.
That was a gain of just a yard down to the 36. It will bring up a 4th down and 2. Musselman lining up to go for it. Pistol formation as Beard has Sebastian Odom behind him. Barks out signals, takes that snap. Fakes the handoff, dumps a little pass in the flat to the left to Hartman. Can he slip that tackle and get the 1st down? He got through the initial tackle, diving and falling forward to about the 34-yard line, and that should be just enough for the 1st down.
Yes, it is. Good job by Hartman, because I'll tell you what, he was stopped short of the 1st down and fell forward just enough to get the 1st down.
Wow, needed 2, and that is exactly what he got. And the Musselman Applemen keep the drive alive with their 2nd 1st down of this opening possession. 7th play of the drive coming. 1st and 10 from the Ripley 34. Out of the shotgun again, the pistol formation. 3 receivers tight to the left of the formation. Beard wants to throw. Flush from the pocket, rolling near side. Hit as he lets it go, and down the near sideline is the catch made. A juggling grab right on the sideline for Kagan Teets as the 6', 175-pound sophomore managed to make the catch and get a foot down inbounds at the 19-yard line.
Hey, he did a great job of coming back to the football. He saw his quarterback was in trouble. He was deep down the field inside the 10-yard line and came back to the football, made a nice catch right on the sideline.
Yeah, Teets had a couple of big catches in last week's win against John Marshall. From the 19-yard line, 8th play of the possession, 1st down and 10. Beard taking the shotgun snap, quick pass far side. Hartman with the catch, hit immediately and taken down. There's the linebacker, Josh Kay, a senior, 5'10", 165, flying in there to make the tackle.
Yeah, a nice loss on that play. Good job. One of the keys we talked about, tackling. If he doesn't tackle him, he might score on that one. There's nobody over there, and they had a blocker out there, one-on-one blocking. So that was a great open field tackle.
Yeah, loss of 4 yards will set up 2nd and 14 football at the 23 of Ripley. Man in motion out of the backfield near side. That's Sebastian Odom. That leaves Trey Beard back there by himself. He takes that snap, rolls to the near side, dumps it off underneath. Grab made by Blake Hartman, slips through a tackle, and then gets hit and taken down as Cameron Ramsey helping to make that stop inside the 20 at the 19. And so Musselman gets back the 4 yards they lost on the prior play, and it will bring up a 3rd and 10.
He did a nice job of running through that tackle. If the tackle was made where it should have been, he probably would have lost about 4 yards on that play. So good recovery. 3rd down, 3rd and 10 from the 19-yard line. 6 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Quarter number 1, no score.
Already 4+ minutes run off the clock in this possession by Musselman. 3 players again in that stick eye to the right of the quarterback. Quick pitch to the deep man, and that is Hartman coming near side, outside the numbers towards the sideline, inside the 10. He's down to the 8, but a penalty marker down.
It's going to be holding against Musselman.
That's going to come virtually at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard into the run based on where that flag was thrown along the near side as it lays right next to the 0 in the number 20. Our referee crew gathering together, and now we'll mark off that penalty. Looks like they will mark it from the 18, 1 yard into the run, -10 on the hold. First penalty for Musselman. Vic, they struggled with penalties a bit last week.
Oh, tell you, that was a nightmare. 20 penalties last week in one ball game. That's enough for a season.
The ball will go back to the 28-yard line.
Can't afford that tonight. Again, right now, that penalty right there just hurt them. 3rd and 19.
Trip receivers to the wide side left as Beard has Odom behind him in that pistol formation. There is the snap. Beard has plenty of time. Throws over the middle, overshoots the intended target. Trying to get it to Blake Hartman. Good coverage over the middle of the field by Josh Kay, the defensive back.
Well, they tried to isolate and get a one-on-one. Last week they got that for a touchdown. Not tonight. Ball just simply overthrown. That's going to bring up a 4th down situation coming up from Musselman. 4th and 19.
And they'll go for it.
Yes.
They have already converted on a 4th and 2 in this opening possession. 4th and 19, or excuse me, 4th and 19, yes, coming here.
From the 28.
Beard looking to the near sideline, head coach Brian Thomas going through a series of signs. Trip receivers to the wide side left, single receiver here to the right. Beard away then to snap. Here comes the blitz. Blocked nicely by the Appleman. Now the pocket collapsing. Beard rolling far side. Gives a little pump fake. Buys himself some time. Now throws, and the pass in and out of the hands of the intended target. Tried to get it to Kagan Teets, and then deeper behind him, David Shade made a diving attempt along the far sideline at the 10-yard line. It's incomplete and a turnover on downs.
Well, a lot of pressure being put on by the Ripley group up front, especially linebackers. We've noticed here, Matt, they've simply been blitzing about almost every play, just about. Either one or two of the linebackers have been blitzing, trying to put pressure on the quarterback and also the running backs as well. So, biggest deficit in that particular series, the penalty, the holding, and that was behind the play.
From their own 28 on 1st down and 10, Ripley football, second possession of this opening quarter, and they'll go back to the ground game. Handoff to the tailback, and he'll pick up, about 5 or 6 yards. Waiting to see who came out of the bottom of the pile with that carry. Looked like 2-4, the fullback. It'll be Jeremy Harper who will get the carry out to about the 32.
Quickly played ball game here. 5 minutes and 2 seconds to go in quarter number 1. Still no score.
2nd down and 6 out of a power pistol. The quarterback, Cyrus Casto, has a fullback to his right side and a tailback behind him. Tight wing to the right, wide receiver here to the left. Handoff going to Evans, the deep man, turns the corner on that right side. He lowers the head and shoulders, and the 5'9", 160-pound running back bounces off a couple of tacklers and gets beyond the 35 to the 36.
Now, these are two aggressive teams. We always know Musselman, they're always aggressive, and they will come out and hit you. But this Ripley team, pretty aggressive also. That was a pretty aggressive run.
That gain of 4 will set up a 3rd down and 2. Ripley faced a 3rd and 13 on their opening possession. They'll go to the stick-eye formation with Casto up under center. Evans will be the deep man behind Harper, the fullback. Awaiting that snap. 2 tight ends set. The handoff goes to Harper, hit immediately and taken down on the play. Nice job up inside by that Musselman interior defensive front line. And yep, that is a 6'1 Nate Cole, 5'11", 320.
They called it a fumble. They finally did signal a fumble. Musselman came out with the football, but there was no signal. Now they signal it is first down Musselman on the fumble recovery. I don't think the officials knew that the ball had been fumbled. They just, walked around like it was 4th down. They were marking the spot. But I saw the football come out, and I saw Musselman pick it up. I figured maybe the whistle had blown, but it hadn't.
It did not blow, and it will be a turnover, another key to this game that you pointed out in our pregame show. And that will give Musselman the football with outstanding field position, a gain of 1, but then they cough up the ball, and with 3:55 to play in our opening quarter, Musselman has their 2nd possession from the 37 of Ripley. Out of the gun, Beard takes the snap, fakes the give to Sebastian Odom, gives instead to Blake Hartman, tackled in the backfield. Blowing that one up was Caden Keeler, the 6', 260-pound defensive lineman who got into the backfield.
Yes, he did. He did a nice job of simply getting around his block. I think Musselman is going to have to change their attack a little bit. I think what they're going to have to do is run right at him. Everything has been slants or reverses of some sort and late developing, slow developing type plays. They've got to slow down those linebackers. They're the ones who are really causing the havoc for their offense.
Yeah, it's a loss of 5 back to the 42 of Ripley on a 2nd and 15. Beard has the shotgun snap. This time hands to Sebastian Odom, straight ahead running. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, gaining the 5 yards lost on that very first play. Good defense that time by Chris DeFrank as the senior made the tackle.
3 minutes here in the first quarter, no score. And this game's been played pretty much with Ripley with their backs to their goal line, not necessarily the goal line, but closer beyond the 50-yard line, playing defense. But Musselman still, I think, has to run the football directly at them, try to slow them down a little bit.
On 3rd down and 10, empty backfield. Now coming into motion into the backfield, Sebastian Odom. Man in motion now near side is Hartman. The quick give is to Sebastian Odom. He's met in the hole and taken down again. Caden Keeler helping to fill that hole. That'll be a loss of a yard back to the 38. And Musselman going the wrong direction as they'll face a 4th down and 11. Once again, you imagine they'll go for it in this situation?
Yeah, I imagine they will.
Oh, wait a minute.
But I wouldn't. I was going to say I wouldn't. I would try to back them up. You've been able to stop them offensively. I would try to get this ball inside of the 10-yard line if I possibly could.
Beard, the quarterback, is also the punter. He takes the snap and pooches it out of there. It will bounce at about the 12, take a sideways roll, and go out of bounds along the near sideline inside the 10. Let's see where they'll mark it. It looks like the 6-yard line, and that punt will be good for 32 yards and no return. And now Musselman winning that battle of field position.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do, and we talked about field positions being one of the keys to the game, and that right there I think is an opportunity now where we're talking about now they've got 94 yards in front of them to score a touchdown with 1:56 to go here in the first quarter.
Vic, let's give this Ripley defense some credit. They turned it over on that fumble, had a short field, but the defense did its job.
Yes, it did. This has been, like I said, Ripley has been surprisingly better defensively than I thought they would be.
From their own 6-yard line, out from under center, the quarterback going to hand it off, and that is Ethan Wilson right there to gobble up the ball carrier R.J. Evans as the senior gets taken down. They'll mark progress back at around the 3 for a loss of 3. Now the 1,400-yard rusher coming in has 3 carries for just 2 yards as this Musselman defense has been all over him.
Well, right now it looks as though same thing. I think you're going to have to run right at Musselman. If you're Ripley, you're not going to be able to run too many slow developing plays.
Power pistol to the left. Casto takes the snap, rolls far side, lets the pass go. Sliding grab made out beyond the 15 at the 16-yard line. Able to pull that one in is Dawson Anderson, the 5'11" tight end.
Nice job, a little play action there and roll to the right side, and surprise to everybody, Ripley puts it in the air and is successful. 1:15 on the running clock here in the first quarter, and still no score.
13 yards on the pass completion. That's just what they needed to pick up their first down of the night. There is the snap to Casto, this time in the shotgun, hands it off to a man in motion. That's the jet sweep coming near side, and the ball carrier forced out of bounds after what will be a short gain on that carry. Working his way to the near side was Dalton Myers.
That was Brandon Bartles, I believe, on the tackle. As we could see on that particular play, he simply caught up to the ball carrier. Again, Musselman having the advantage speed-wise, east and west. Boy, Musselman gets from sideline to sideline very quickly.
That gain good for about 6. Will set up a 2nd down and 4. Handoff on an end around, and no going this time for Evan King, as King went in motion to the right, took that handoff and got pressed deep into the backfield and gets taken down at the 15-yard line, -7.
Well, that's good coaching right there. And a lot of people won't see that and say, well, that's a terrible play, terrible call. That's just good coaching. You tell your backside defensive lineman there, the ball goes away, you get as deep as the deepest guy, and that was the guy with the football. That's why it was a loss on the play.
It'll bring up a 3rd down, 11, almost 12. Casto out of the gun, taking that shotgun snap. Has some time in the pocket. Now it's collapsing. He'll run to the far side, break a tackle at the 10, and then step out of bounds along that far sideline. We'll see where they spot him. Looks like close to the 14-yard line.
Good job by Musselman. Had everybody covered downfield.
The time running out on our first quarter. They set the football down at the 14-yard line, and the punt will come from there, but that punt will wait until we head to quarter number 2. Our first 12 minutes in the books in this quarterfinal round showdown, back in 60 with no score.
To see the inspirations of Mishu's tuxedo collection, look to the sky and stars. For the jewelry itself, come to Bechtel Jewelers for the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th. These playful pieces are a wonderland of sparkly blacks and whites, plus other festive colors. Gems like shimmering black druzy, onyx, and ice quartz adorn silver and gold. Enjoy sophisticated everyday elegance at the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th, and let your inner sparkle shine. Only at Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood.
The punting unit is on as Davison Flint, back at his own 2, takes the snap, gets the kick out of there, wobbly kick coming near side, bouncing at the 45, and then taking a skip right into the arms of Josh Kay, right along the near sideline at the 49-yard line, and the punt covers 35 yards with no return, and that is how we get quarter number 2 underway. Along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller. Our studio engineers, Matt Crawford and Caleb Falero. Our TV10 cameraman, Chip Rittenhouse. We are scoreless as we get quarter number 2 underway. Musselman right now winning that battle of field position as they will start at the Ripley 49 with their 3rd offensive possession of this first half. Trey Beard with 3 receivers out to his right. In a pistol formation has Sebastian Odom behind him. There is the snap. Odom takes the handoff off the right side, met in the hole, and taken down. Another nice defensive play by Josh Kay.
Well, again, they're just simply, those linebackers are shooting through there, and they're just getting untouched. They're reading what's going on. A little bit of play action. I think secondary is up pretty tight. I think you've got to throw the football and throw it deep just to make them play honest.
It was a gain of 2 to the 47. 2nd down and 8 coming. Again, that pistol formation. Man comes in motion into the backfield as the handoff goes to Odom. He will drag a tackler inside the 45 and inside the 40 and taken down at the 38-yard line. Helping on that stop was Jake Lawrence along with, again, the linebacker Josh Kay, but that gained good for a first down.
Good hole there on the left side that time for Musselman, and that's, I've talked about it the last series. If they're going to run the football, they got to run right at them, straight at them. They're getting too many slant plays off to the left, to the right. They got to run straight at them. Just try to control the linebackers, make them settle, and make plays in front of them.
9 yards on that carry for Sebastian Odom. It will bring up first down and 10, but first an official's timeout. Sebastian Odom, we mentioned earlier, third leading rusher for this team. And hang on, we have a procedure penalty that has just been whistled against Musselman.
I have no idea what it was.
Me either, as someone apparently stepped maybe into that neutral zone or across the football as they were just lining up. Either way, that's 2 penalties, 15 yards now called on the Appleman. Football gets moved back to the 43 of Ripley, and it's first down and 15. Again, the pistol formation for Trey Beard, the quarterback. Ball on the near side, hash mark. He takes the snap, slings it out far side, receiver screen, caught by Ethan Wilson. Wilson, the 6'3 tight end and the senior, battles his way along the far side, hash mark, back down to about the 37-yard line. That'll be a gain, good for about 6, maybe 7, and we'll set up a second and we'll call it 2nd and 9. So there's that quick pass. Now 5 of 8 passing for 23 yards in the early going, as Beard has not really thrown down the field, but has thrown those short passes so far. From just outside the 36-yard line in Ripley territory. There's that 3-man stick eye to the left of the quarterback as Beard is in the shotgun. Awaiting the snap, he's got it, hands it to the deep man, that's Hartman. Off the left side of the line, he's into the secondary. It's a foot race as he gets inside the 20, cuts back to his left at the 12, and then heads into the end zone for the Musselman-Appleman touchdown. 36 yards on the TD run for Blake Hartman.
Oh, we talked about running straight at him, and that's exactly what it was. Out of that stick eye, just run straight at him, and I think you can handle the blocks. But I tell you, when you start running away from there, they do a very good job of lateral pursuit, the linebackers from Ripley. But they're not as good running directly at them because I think they got good blocking angles, and they're not that big guys. So therefore, the blocks were very effective.
Now, Musselman not going to try the single-point conversion, but will go for 2 as they again line up in a pistol with 3 receivers left and a single receiver right. And now, timeout being taken. Brian Thomas, the head coach for Musselman, racing out almost all the way to the numbers down the field to try to get the attention of our side judge along this near side. And eventually the timeout is taken. We will go ahead and keep it here. Musselman with a very impressive 4-play, 49-yard drive in order to get the first points of this ball game. The drive doesn't take very long, just 2 minutes and 9 seconds. And on their third offensive possession, Musselman has the first points.
Again, and the most effective offense they've had thus far, obviously, I think is running directly at them. I think man for man, I think they can do a much better job. I give a lot of credit to the Ripley linebackers especially. They've done a tremendous job. Anything off tackle or trying to get outside or any delay type of play, they've been able to just simply stymie Musselman in the backfield.
Well, they got to find a way, does Ripley, to stop Blake Hartman. Vic, I've got him 4 carries, 69 yards, including a 37-yarder in that opening possession in this 36-yard touchdown run. Out of the timeout, Musselman will try that 2-point conversion. There is the snap. Beard, he turned to his left. The back Odom went to his right. Beard tucks the football and dives forward for the goal line and will not get there. The 2-point conversion attempt fails. 9 minutes, 43 seconds to play in our first half, and we step aside with Musselman now leading Ripley 6-0.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states. Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all. And Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars, too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Well, Luke Barger with the ensuing kickoff pops it up along the near side where it's grabbed by Caden Hall, the sophomore running back, with the fair catch. And from about the 22-yard line, that is where Ripley will have it as Musselman has a 6-0 lead as Blake Hartman with a 36-yard touchdown run scores his 18th rushing touchdown on the season, and that has the Applemen in the lead. First down and 10 from their own 22. This becomes the 4th offensive possession in this first half for Ripley. Out from under center, Casto gives the pitch to Evans in the backfield, trying to turn the corner on that left side. Boy, he takes on the free safety, Ethan Walker, and then gets tackled from behind by Ethan Wilson, who tracked him down after a gain of just a yard.
Oh, you're right, because tracked him down is exactly right. He was on this side. He ran away from us to the other side, and he followed him the whole entire way across the field with great pursuit. 9:35 go, second quarter, 6-0, Musselman with the lead.
Second down and 9 from their own 23. Casto out of the gun, has a back to his right side. That's the fullback, Jeremy Harper. In the tight slot to the left side is R.J. Evans, their leading rusher. A receiver to each side as the snap goes back, and Casto wants to throw. Along the near side, pass a little high and incomplete, trying to get it on a slant to Dalton Myers, but well defended by the Applemen. They had 3 defenders right there.
Yeah, and the play was it's too slow developing. I mean, he took it and he just stood right up as the quarterback and looking for him on the slant, and he let him too far into the defense on that particular play. If you're going to throw that, you got to throw that quicker before he gets into the defensive lineman, also the linebacker. Dangerous throw.
Third down and 9 now for Ripley. 0 for 3 on third downs. They faced a 3rd and 13, a 3rd and 2, a 3rd and 11, and now this, another 3rd and long situation. Casto wants to throw, has time in the pocket. Deep down the middle, has an open receiver at the midfield stripe. It is caught by Jamison Schaefer. Schaefer inside the Musselman 40, gets wrestled down at the 36-yard line.
A good job for recovery there from Musselman, because that looked like it was going to be a 6-pointer right there. Good throw that time and good reception. Again, I talked about the fact of don't worry about the weather. You know, if you're going to throw the ball, you can throw the ball deep. You just have to catch it, that's all. It's just another day out there. A little colder than usual, but you've got to open the game up a little bit.
About 41 yards on that pass completion. First and 10 from the 36 of Musselman. High backfield behind the quarterback. Casto up under center. He's 2 for 3. Has thrown for 54 yards. There is the snap. They will fake that inside handoff to the fullback. Quarterback keeps it, and Casto may have lost the football again at the 35-yard line. Let's see who's got it. Musselman football. Second fumble recovered by the Applemen in this first half.
And this was more so anything else. It was more of a tackling the football that time than anything else. You know, I don't understand. If you're coaching at this time of the year, this is the ideal time. You want gang tackling. You want 2 or 3 people on the football. It hasn't been a guy drop the football, one guy hit him. It's been gang tackling and somebody reaching in and trying to pull that football out. And this is the ideal time to do it under these conditions.
From their own 35, Musselman football, 8:50 to play in the first half, a 6-0 lead. Pistol formation with a give to Sebastian Odom. Gets an opening off this left side. Follows the blocks outside the numbers along the near sideline. Into Ripley territory inside the 35. Tripped up and taken down inside the 30. Mark him at the 28. Nice tackle by Evan King to eventually get there and bring him down.
Well, real nice job that time of blocking by the interior line of Musselman on that particular play. But again, they're running right at him. You know, they quit running from sideline to sideline. and just simply run right at them.
37 yards on that gain will bring up a first down and 10 from the 28 of Ripley. Again, that's pistol formation. Quick pass from Beard to the far side. It is caught by the slot receiver. That is Ethan Wilson, I believe. Let's wait and see. Nope, that was Hartman who made that catch. And Hartman was able to take it down to the 25, make it the 24-yard line.
Just a 3-yard pickup on that play, but it's just almost like running the football, picking up 3 yards, but you have an opportunity there to maybe break a tackle and make it a big one.
Second down and 6 coming. Pistol formation again as Beard hands it off. Odom off this left side, gets to the 20, follows the blocks as he gets the seam, inside the 15, inside the 10, inside the goal line. He's in for the Musselman-Appleman touchdown.
It's coming back, though, Matt. I'm sorry. It's going to be a holding against Musselman.
There it is. Penalty marker down along the near side between the numbers and the hash mark at the 19-yard line. That would still be 5 yards into that run.
I won't give his number, but he knows it. He got up, he looked around, shook his head. He knew exactly who the holding was on. Tough play there, tough call. You know, one of the things that players usually when holdings occur so many times, you didn't need to hold at all. Just let the guy, you got positive yards and you get excited that you want him to go all the way and you end up grabbing the guy, holding the guy or something of that nature. Let the runner take care of that.
Second and 11 now from the 29 of Ripley, after the hold is marked off. 3 penalties, 25 yards now on Musselman in this first half. 8 minutes to play in the half, 6-0, the Appleman lead. Again, that pistol formation, 3 receivers to the right side. There is the snap. They fake the handoff. Beard keeps it, and up the middle of the field, he's to the 20, to the 15, down to the 10, tackled from behind around the 7-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle for Cameron Ramsey.
Well, it looked like he's going to run that option again where he just kind of chest passes it out to the back coming around, but he just kept it. He saw it was wide open there. The linebacker shot to the outside to protect that again, and it turned out to be run straight at him.
How about a gain of 22, sets up first down, goal to go from the 7. That 3-man stick eye to the left of the quarterback in the shotgun. Handoff goes to Hartman, follows those 2 lead blockers for a gain of 2 to the 5-yard line.
7:27 to go in the second quarter. 6-0, Musselman on top. Looking for more here. Second and goal at the 5-yard line. That's where they'll mark it.
This Musselman team really putting together some nice rushing yardage here in this first half, especially getting it going in this second quarter. They'll stay spread with the pistol formation and 3 receivers bunched tightly to this short side left. A wide out along the numbers on the wide side right. Looking to the near sideline, Beard getting the play call down to 4, down to 3, down to 2 on the play clock, and head coach Brian Thomas wants a timeout. Let's take a 30-second break, and then we will come back to Spring Mills neutral site for today's game with Musselman leading Ripley 6-0.
When you do the same thing for 135 years, you learn to do it well. For 135 years, we've been helping families through the hardest times of their lives. That's because we're a family as well. When your family loses a loved one, we're here to help. We're Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
Now let's give a shout out to each of our sponsors for our playoff coverage of Musselman football on TV 10 and Talk Radio WRNR. Thanks to the Berkeley County Health Department, Anthony's Pizza in Inwood and Spring Mills, the Mirius Group, Ben Ameriprise Financial Services, Bechtel Jewelers, Brown's Funeral Home, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, and Parsons Ford. From the 5-yard line, Musselman has it, second and goal to go. They line up with that 3-man stick eye again to the left side of the quarterback in the shotgun. Handoff goes to Hartman off the left side, pounds it into the end zone for the Musselman-Appleman touchdown. Ran into the back of the pile at about the 2, but bounced to his left and went in for the score.
Now, what did they do? Just ran right at him. Good job by the offensive line. Now the football game is being played on the other side of the football, and that's what you want. The offensive line and Musselman doing a great job.
I've got Hartman 76 yards on 6 carries, 2 rushing touchdowns now in this first half, as Musselman will again line up for the 2-point conversion after failing on that 2-point conversion after their first score. Pistol formation, 3 receivers left with a single receiver right. Beard looking to the near sideline, has Sebastian Odom behind him, now ready for the snap. Man comes in motion into the backfield. That's Hartman. He'll take that lateral near side and get to the goal line and in for the 2-point conversion. Musselman able to convert, and with 6 minutes and 51 seconds left in the half, we step aside with the Applemen leading 14-0.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large 1-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
Luke Barger setting up for the ensuing kickoff after the Musselman Appleman 6-play, 65-yard drive, 2 minutes and 1 second, a 5-yard touchdown run for Blake Hartman, second of the first half, 19th of the season. 14-0 Musselman. Barger approaches at the 42-yard right, bounces a kick right down the middle of the field. It's still free at the 30-yard line and sliding up to take it at the 31. One of the Ripley players who was able to get up there and grab that football and keep the possession, Caden Hall. He's a sophomore, listed as a fullback and a linebacker. Vic, 6:49 to play in the first half. How crucial is this possession right now for Ripley to try to get something going?
Very, very crucial. And the big thing is, even if they do not score, they're going to need to change field position a little bit. If they go 3 and out here, they could be in deep trouble.
I've got them with just 2 first downs so far in this first half. From their own 31, man in motion to the far side is Casto out from under center, hands it off. That's Evans coming near side, taken down at the 22-yard line. Nice pursuit by Trevin Carter, the 5'9 sophomore, able to track him down and make that tackle. They give him progress to the 36. That's a pickup of 5.
Good job of blocking by Jeremy Harper, number 24, the running back, and allowed him to get around the corner. 2nd and 4.
Evans, their leading rusher, coming in. Here's a pitch in the backfield. Harper this time has it listed as the fullback. He's got pretty good quickness. Turns the corner on that left side to the numbers and out to the 43. He lost the football, and again, it's grabbed by Musselman. 3rd turnover, 3rd fumble lost by Ripley.
Well, obviously you can't win very many games like that, and you turning the football over. It's a 3rd turnover. Now Musselman has an excellent opportunity in good field position again. They'll take over. Looks like it'll be at about the 42-yard line with 6:13 to go here in the first half.
A big opportunity now for this Musselman offense to begin to put a little distance between themselves and this Ripley Viking team.
One of the things we talked about, take care of the football. Obviously, Ripley's having a lot of problems with that.
It is a cold, blustery night, no doubt about it. Don't know if that's having an impact or it's just Musselman being able to rip that ball out. On 1st down and 10 from the 42, Beard wants to throw. Wow, pocket collapsing very quickly, and he'll go down in a heap at about the 46, maybe the 47-yard line. A whole host of Vikings in there, but helping to lead the way looked to be Caden Keeler again.
Yeah, number 52, Chris DeFrank. Good job that time just to collapse it. He didn't have a chance to actually even look downfield. He did have a couple guys open, but he just didn't have enough time to look down the field to get the ball to him.
A loss of 4, setting up 2nd and 14 now from the Ripley 46. Hartman in motion to the far side, now turns back to the near side, takes that inside scissors, handoff. He'll get to the 45 and the 40, and along the near side hash mark, dragged down at the 38-yard line. There to make the tackle, Josh Kay. Still a gain of close to 8 on that one, and it goes from a 3rd and 14 to a more manageable, 2nd and 14 to a more manageable 3rd and 6. Let me get the right numbers out in the right order there.
Well, this could be a 3rd and 4th down situation, considering the fact Musselman's up 14-0. If they don't get it here and don't lose any yardage, they may go for it on 4th.
On 3rd down, out of the pistol formation, the give to Sebastian Odom around the corner on the left side, gets to the sideline. Let's see where they'll mark him. He went out of bounds, it looks like, at the 32, which would be right at the sticks. Will he get the first, or will they measure, or will they call him short and make it a 4th and short? They're going to say he's short. 4th down and less than a yard to go. And no doubt about it, Musselman will go for it as the football will get set down just outside of the 32.
That's awfully close without measuring.
Musselman, believe it or not, 0 for 4 now on 3rd down conversions. They're 1 of 2 on 4th down. 3-man stick eye to the left of the quarterback. Beard out of the gun, awaiting the shotgun snap. He's got it. Hands it off. Hartman off the left side. He's got the first down inside the 25. Almost slipped a tackle as he's dragged down at the 21-yard line. Able to hang on was Evan King and eventually make the stop.
Again, it's just Musselman's now controlling that defensive front. Their offensive line just pushing them off the football. And right now, it seems like the Ripley guys are more so what we call catching blocks than they are actually making penetration and making plays as they did in that first series.
1st and 10 coming from the 21 of Ripley. 14-0 Musselman leading and driving for more with 4:40 on a running first half clock. Ball along the near side hash mark as the Appleman move from right to left. Trey Beard looking over the defense, and Sebastian Odom in motion to the right. Empty backfield now as Beard takes that snap. Wants to run straight ahead, follow the block of Blake Hartman, slipped it through a tackle at the 17-yard line and gets inside the 15 down to the 12-yard line. That gain's going to be good for about 9 yards.
Now, it looked like a tremendous run, but even better than the run was the blocking up front. Musselman players staying on the blocks longer. This is why it's so hard it seems like, to bring the ball carrier down. The guys are staying on their blocks. You're getting one-arm tackling and so forth, but a good job of staying on the blocks by the offensive lineman of Musselman.
Call it a gain of 8 to the 13. It'll be a 2nd down and 2 as Beard has the shotgun snap. He will run up the middle, grabbed and tackled at the 10-yard line. That was Dalton Myers who was able to make that stop, but that gain of 3 is good for a 1st down. Good job getting through those pulling linemen as a guard and tackle both pulled on that play. And yet Myers, I should say, was able to get there to make the stop. 1st down, goal to go with a football at the 10-yard line. Pistol formation as Beard awaits the snap. He's got it, throws far side. Wilson on the wide receiver screen has the catch inside the 5, taken down at the 1-yard line.
That's a nice throw that time, and got it real quick, got it to his receiver, catch, and good extension. 3 minutes, 5 seconds ago here in the first half. Musselman on the verge of opening this ball game up now, leading 14-0.
2nd down, goal to go from the 1, as we're now under 3 minutes to play in our first half. We have the play clock being reset, and now action back underway. There's that 3-man eye again to the left of the quarterback with Beard in the shotgun. Hands it off to Hartman. Hartman at the goal line met. He's in for the Musselman-Appleman touchdown. Able to get that ball across the plane of the goal line, and that is the 3rd touchdown of the first half for Blake Hartman. That'll give him 20 rushing touchdowns now on the season. And for this Musselman-Appleman offense, after being stopped on their first 2 possessions, they have now scored on 3 consecutive possessions.
Well, they've changed their philosophy a little bit, and that is, again, as I've been saying, run the football directly at them. Just slow them down a little bit, get those linebackers under control, and just take the football and just shove it down their throat. And that's basically what they have done here in the last 3 series.
Luke Barger is on for the extra point. Snap, placement, kick. It is up and it is through. Let's take a 60-second break. 2:43 to play in the half, and Musselman leads 21-0.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery, anthonysmenu.com.
Well, we welcome you back once again to Cardinal Stadium, where we had a holding penalty on Musselman on that extra point attempt. Did not see the penalty marker down as we were going into the break. The call was made. They backed the football up. And how about this? Luke Barger just knocked through a 32-yard extra point. Sign him up for the NFL. Isn't that where they're kicking it from now in that league?
Yes, they are.
That was an 8-play, 42-yard drive, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Blake Hartman goes in from 1 yard out for his 3rd rushing touchdown of this first half. And the Musselman Applemen beginning to take charge, if you will, in this one, scoring on 3 straight possessions offensively and defensively. They have given up just 2 first downs and have forced 3 turnovers as they have recovered 3 fumbles from this Ripley offense.
Well, see, this is where it really hurts you when you don't have a real strong passing game to give you an opportunity to make some big plays. You're not going to get it from the run game. Obviously, Musselman's pretty much controlled the ground as far as that's concerned, but you need to have some opportunity to have some explosive plays. You know, a couple times they threw the football. They didn't look bad throwing. I guess they're so used to not throwing that, you know, there's where the problems are.
Barger with the ensuing kickoff, bounced down the middle of the field, taken by one of the guys who quickly came up to grab it. Wasn't one of the deep guys, but kind of a middle range guy, and that's Luke Miller, a sophomore, listed as a wide receiver, 5'7", just 135. He was able to grab that one on the bounce and quickly dart across the 40, and it gets taken down just shy of the 45-yard line. So from their own 44, 1st and 10 for the Ripley Vikings, 2:39 to play in this first half, and they really need to get something going here. Casto's going to be in the shotgun. He'll have Harper as his fullback to his right side. There is the snap. Casto rolling near side, wants to throw, grabbed by Ethan Wilson, manages to slip free, but only for a moment, as he'll then be taken down by another Appleman defender. Waiting to see if that's Bartles. Is it 2-6? Yes, it is, as Ben Bartles will get credit for the sack all the way back at the 33.
Well, that's the only thing I can really say, and just a poor decision by the quarterback. You just throw that one away. You're only about 6 or 7 yards from out of bounds anyway. You can throw that one out of bounds with no problem whatsoever. You can't afford to take a loss like that.
Yeah, 11 yards.
11 yards, and you're down 3 touchdowns, and you're taking that kind of a loss.
2nd and 21 now from their own 33. Back up under center. Casto has the snap. Steps back in the pocket. Pocket collapsing. He steps up. Lets it go. Incomplete. Double coverage on the intended target. Looking for Dalton Myers on a crossing pattern, but he was guarded very tightly with Trevin Carter there along with Ethan Walker.
Now, this is a football team you can see right now they're out of their element. They don't look good throwing the football. Even though they got some people open, they actually have some receivers open. It's not a bad scheme that they have. He's just got to get the football to him with 1:49 to go here in the first half. You know, I think Musselman has 1 timeout remaining, I believe, in this first half. But they're going to have to punt it away here if they don't score. And Musselman has an opportunity for another good situation offensively.
Man in motion as the snap goes to Casto. He's going to throw deep over the middle, and the pass overshooting everyone and incomplete. Kind of down the middle of the field, he had R.J. Evans, and also a little further beyond him down the middle of the field along the near side was Dawson Anderson, who earlier had a grab for 13 yards, but that one not near either receiver.
Had he gotten the ball too, either one of them, they both were open. They actually were open downfield on that particular play, and the pressure by the Musselman defense made him force him to throw the ball a little bit sooner than he wanted to.
Davison Flint will come in to punt. Gets it away, end-over-end kick, going to float down to the return man, Blake Hartman. He's got it at the 32-yard line and will get about 6 yards or so on that return as he gets out across the 35, mark him at the 37.
Austin Rhodes, number 88, on the tackle for the Ripley Vikings. 1:34 to go. Let's see what Musselman does here, see if they go and try to tack some more points on the board here. If I'm Musselman, I'm going to go right at them. I might run the ball on first down because they're playing down in distance situations. First down is a good run down, so they usually play pretty tight.
On first down and 10 from their own 37, Musselman football. Man in motion, heads to that far side, leaving an empty backfield for Trey Beard. He's got that shotgun snap. Here comes the pressure. Throws deep over the middle. Has Ethan Wilson the catch at the 35-yard line to the 30-yard line. Dragging a tackler inside the 20 and the 15 and down to the 10. R.J. Evans eventually able to bring him down there, but not before a gain of 53 yards.
Now, as I said, first down is the best down to throw because they have been playing down in distance situations. In other words, first down, they'd expect run. That's why sometimes you throw, and you throw in that situation right there with the defense. Everybody was within 6 yards of the football. There's no way you can defend against deep passes.
On first down and goal to go from the 10, pistol formation, the handoff going to Sebastian Odom, and he'll pick up about 3 yards down to the 7. Plenty of time with 1:06 left. One timeout left for the Musselman Applemen, so they don't have to be in any major hurry. Second and goal from the 7-yard line. Again, they'll line up in that three-man stick eye to the left of the quarterback as Beard out of the shotgun takes the snap, turns, gives a little lateral pass to Hartman, stiff arms a man at the 10 but cannot get away. Taken down at the 11-yard line, a loss of 4 yards. Clock continues to wind.
I think I will use my timeout after that play.
From the 11-yard line, now a third down and goal to go. Fourth play of the possession. Motion man moving to the right side of the formation as Beard now takes that shotgun snap. Hands to Walker. He'll give the inside handoff to Hartman. Met at the 9-yard line and taken down there. And we're down to 9 seconds left. And now a timeout going to be taken.
If I'm Musselman here, I think I'm going to go ahead and kick a field goal here.
You've seen what your kicker can do on that 32-yard extra point.
Right. But I would have taken the timeout after the last play. I'm not second guessing. I'm just simply saying what I would have done under that situation because it was, you had a running play, everything was out of sync, and that was a good time for me to take it because the next play you're going to pass anyway. So it's going to be a catch. You got to get first down yardage or you got to score rather. And the clock's going to run out one or the other. So this is the right decision right here. Go for the field goal. This gives your kicker another opportunity here for very possibly next week. You may have to use a field goal as being a big part of the game to get 3 points on the board.
It'll be a 26-yard field goal attempt as the ball will be set down. Well, let's make it a 27-yard attempt. It'll be set down at the 17-yard line along the near side hash mark. The snap back a little high, but the hold is down. Luke Barger puts it up, and he puts it through. Luke Barger, the 6'3 sophomore, with 1.4 seconds left in this first half, now makes it a 24-0 lead for Musselman. A 30-second break, and then we are back to Cardinal Stadium. It's West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Now the ensuing kickoff coming from Luke Barger after a 5-play, 54-yard drive. Took a minute and 33 seconds. The 27-yard field goal up and good for Barger, and that makes it 24-0. Musselman out in front. Barger has the ball on the tee, middle of the field at the 42 on right. He approaches, gets away a high end-over-end kick coming down to the return man at about the 14-yard line. Racing up the middle of the field, out beyond the 30, getting spun at the 34, hit and taken down out beyond the 35 to the 36-yard line is Evan King. Nice return for the senior, but that will bring our first half to a close. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have a little analysis from here at the field before going back to the studio for our halftime scoreboard show. It is a quarterfinal round AAA matchup, and it is all Musselman at the half as they lead Ripley 24-0.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery. Anthony'sMenu.com.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
To see the inspirations of Mishu's tuxedo collection, look to the sky and stars. For the jewelry itself, come to Bechtel Jewelers for the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th. These playful pieces are a wonderland of sparkly blacks and whites, plus other festive colors. Gems like shimmering black druzy, onyx, and ice quartz adorn silver and gold. Enjoy sophisticated everyday elegance at the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th, and let your inner sparkle shine. Only at Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood.
Welcome back into Cardinal Stadium. We're on the campus of Spring Mills High School. It is the neutral site for tonight's AAA quarterfinal round matchup as the number 4 seed Musselman Appleman lead the 5 seed Ripley Vikings by a 24-0 score at the half. Along with Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller at the studio. Matt Crawford and Caleb Falero. Chip Rittenhouse is our TV10 cameraman. Well, Vic, a slow start in this one, if you will, really, for both teams offensively. The defense is taking charge in quarter number 1 as we were scoreless at the end of our first 12 minutes of play. But while that Musselman defense continued to be very stout, in fact, taking the ball away from Ripley 3 times, recovering fumbles, the offense finally got going, scoring on 3 straight possessions with touchdowns, and then that 4th possession to close out the first half, a field goal right at the end of the half, and they lead 24-0.
Matt, the big difference in this football game, believe it or not, even though Musselman has simply somewhat dominated this ball game, it's just been the 3 turnovers. I mean, Ripley, all 3 of those were positive yardage on each play, running the football, and they've given it up, and 2 in pretty good field position for Musselman, and then the other one was not in bad position for Musselman. So I think it was just a case of Ripley giving up the football. One of the things we talked about, again, was taking care of the football, and they did not take care of it, and that's what's put them in the hole that they're in. Musselman's done a much better job of figuring out what they need to do to run the football against this team, and that is run right at them, run from tackle to tackle, basically, and use your athletic ability and your speed against this Ripley bunch, and try to control those linebackers of theirs, because they were bringing 2, 3, and sometimes 4 linebackers coming at one time, and it's just too difficult to try to control all those guys and know who to block in what situation. So they figured that out in the sense of now, instead of you looping around and going to the outside or slicing to the inside or whatever, if you do, what will happen is that back will break opposite the way that you're coming, and that's what's happened in a few cases. They had the blitz on, and a few times we saw running backs and the quarterback run into the secondary before they even got touched. So I think good job of picking up things for Musselman and really dominating in the middle of the second quarter.
Well, and what is not good right now for these Ripley Vikings, remember they won the coin toss, took the opening kick, and that means the first possession of the second half will go in the hands of the Musselman Applemen, who certainly have some momentum as they have put points on the board on their final 4 possessions of this first half. Well, with highlights of our first half and scores from around the Mountain State in AAA as well as AA and Single A football tonight, we send it back to the studio, our halftime scoreboard show with Matt Crawford and Caleb Falero. It's coming up next. At the intermission here at Spring Mills, it is Musselman 24 and Ripley nothing.
Scoreboard show. Matt Crawford here with you in the Talk Radio WRNR studios. Not a very exciting first quarter unless you're a fan of nothing but defense. No score after 1 quarter of play, but the second quarter and then the first half, it was all Musselman as they are up 24. Let's take a look at some highlights of scoring all in that second quarter, and it was really the Blake Hartman show. Last week it was really Trey Beard who was involved in 8 of the 9 touchdowns, but let's put it frankly this week, it is all Blake Hartman. Let's get it started with this 36-yard run. Blake Hartman puts Musselman on the board to make it 6-0.
Awaiting the snap, he's got it, hands it to the deep man, that's Hartman. Off the left side of the line, he's into the secondary. It's a foot race as he gets inside the 20, cuts back to his left at the 12, and then heads into the end zone for the Musselman Appleman touchdown. 36 yards on the TD run for Blake Hartman.
Stayed 6-0 after a missed 2-point conversion. It will be Blake Hartman again to make it 14-0 following a 2-point conversion, but first, this 5-yard touchdown run.
They line up with that 3-man stick eye again to the left side of the quarterback in the shotgun. Handoff goes to Hartman off the left side, pounds it into the end zone for the Musselman Appleman touchdown. Ran into the back of the pile at about the 2, but bounced to his left and went in for the score.
And this time from 1 yard out, make it a 3-touchdown lead. Once again, it's Blake Hartman.
3-man eye again to the left of the quarterback with Beard in the shotgun. Hands it off to Hartman. Hartman at the goal line. Met. He's in for the Musselman Appleman touchdown. Able to get that ball across the plane of the goal line. And that is the 3rd touchdown of the first half for Blake Hartman.
The first half was capped off for the Applemen with a 27-yard field goal by Luke Barger, and he would make it 24-0. The kick goes in with under 10 seconds to play. 1.7 after this kick. It was 24-0 going into halftime.
Well, let's make it a 27-yard attempt. It'll be set down at the 17-yard line along the near side hash mark. The snap back a little high, but the hold is down. Luke Barger puts it up, and he puts it through. Luke Barger, the 6'3 sophomore, with 1.4 seconds left in this first half, now makes it a 24-0 lead for Musselman.
Barger also showing his leg off earlier in the game with an extra point that after a holding penalty ended up being a 33-yard extra point. That's NFL distance, so showing a good leg. That and the 27-yard field goal to end the half. 24-0, Musselman, the number 4 seed, over the number 5 seed Ripley in Spring Mills, the site of this neutral game because of the field conditions in Inwood. We're going to take a 1-minute break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the other action going on around the Mountain State, not only in AAA, but in AA and Single A, and preview some of the matchups going on tomorrow. This is the Halftime Scoreboard Show. I am Matt Crawford, and you're listening to West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio WRNR and watching it on TV 10.
WVU Medicine is pleased to announce the addition of orthopedic surgeon Dr. Craig Clark to the Jefferson Medical Center staff and WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Dr. Clark joins Dr. Bradford Wright and the team at WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, offering leading-edge, full-service orthopedic care. Both board-certified orthopedic surgeons specialize in total joint replacements and general orthopedics, as well as sports medicine. For more info, call WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine at 304-725-2663.
To see the inspirations of Mishu's tuxedo collection, look to the sky and stars. For the jewelry itself, come to Bechtel Jewelers for the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th. These playful pieces are a wonderland of sparkly blacks and whites, plus other festive colors. Gems like shimmering black druzy, onyx, and ice quartz adorn silver and gold. Enjoy sophisticated, everyday elegance at the Trunk Show.
Welcome back into the Halftime Scoreboard Show. Matt Crawford here with you in the studios. Only one other AAA game going on tonight in this quarterfinal round. It is number 2 Spring Valley hosting number 7 Huntington. At the half, number 2 Spring Valley shutting out Huntington 21-0. Again, our score is 24-0, so a couple of shutouts so far through one half of play in each one of the games going on tonight. 2 games going on tomorrow afternoon, both involving Eastern Panhandle teams. The game we will have right here is Martinsburg hosting Parkersburg, the Big Red coming in after a win last week over Wheeling Park in that 8-9 matchup. Again, kickoff tomorrow is at 1:30. 12:30 will be the pregame. We'll have an extended pregame really starting at 12 tomorrow with a shortened version of Miller time. And the other matchup tomorrow is Capital hosting Hedgesville. That is the number 3 Capital Cougars taking on the number 11 Hedgesville Eagles. Hedgesville coming in after the come-from-behind victory last week down at Parkersburg South. Let's go to AA real quick. One game in AA going on tonight, and again, another shutout. So 3 shutouts so far, 1 in AA, 2 in AAA. It is Bridgeport, the number 3 seed, over number 6 Robert C. Byrd. At the half, that game 21-0 in favor of Bridgeport. Let's go to Single A, where all the games are being played tonight, so all 4 of the quarterfinal matchups being played tonight. Number 1 Wheeling Central has come back. It was a tight game with number 1 Magnolia, but a scoring update that just popped up on the screen. Number 1 Wheeling Central up 20-7 over number 9 Magnolia, that game in the second quarter. Number 7 Sherman leading number 2 Midland Trail at the half 14-8. Number 6 Williamstown leading number 3 Mountain View 10-6. That game also at the half. And number 4 Doddridge County up 7-0 at the half. They're facing off against number 5 Cameron in the 4-5 matchup, that game at the half. Also, college basketball going on tonight. We will join the Mountaineers in progress. They tip off at 9 o'clock there in the Myrtle Beach Invitational. They will tip off at 9 against Western Kentucky. The Mountaineers got their first win of the season last night. 9 p.m. tip-off expected, but a tournament atmosphere. So last night I think it was 45 minutes that the tip was delayed, so you never know what it could be tonight. Other Big 12 teams in action tonight in college basketball. Kansas State up over Eastern Kentucky, 29-24. 3 minutes left in the first in that one. Number 2, Kansas, losing to Louisiana right now. 8:08 left in the first quarter. So I assume Kansas will come back in that one. They are down 25-32 right now. Kansas, the number 2 team in the country. Texas against the Citadel. Right now it's the Longhorns up 38-24 that game. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. And the Baylor Bears get a victory over Nicholas. That game, the final 81-54. All right, that is all we're going to have here from back at the studio. We'll send it back to Matt Miller and Vic Holmes for the second half of action. This is West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face, when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
We welcome you back to Cardinal Stadium. We're on the campus of Spring Mills High School. It is the neutral site for tonight's matchup. It is a quarterfinal round, a showdown. The Musselman Applemen are right now with a 24-0 lead over the Ripley Vikings. Time for us to take a look at the first half stats. A service of Bears Repair, 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. For all of your automotive repair needs, call Kevin Bass and the certified mechanics at Bears Repair. Phone 304-262-0208. Well, let's start with Ripley, who has just not been able to get anything established against this Musselman defense. The Vikings, with 6 possessions in the first half, turned it over on 3 of those possessions. All 3 were fumbles, and on the other 3 possessions, punted the football away. Punts of 41, 35, and 35 yards. In all, the Vikings run 20 plays for 58 yards, just 5 rushing yards, and 53 passing yards. 41 of those 53 coming on 1 pass completion. Ripley did not have a penalty thrown against them in this first half. No flags on Ripley, but they mustered up just 2 first downs and went 1 of 5 on third down conversions. But here's the reason why, Vic. 3rd and 13. 3rd and 2, but gained a yard before fumbling the football. Then 3rd and 11, 3rd and 9, and 3rd and 21. First and second down have really been the issue.
They really have, and they've really just put themselves between a rock and a hard place and not knowing which way to turn. And whichever way they turned, it seemed like Musselman was right there in their face. It's been really, really difficult for their offense, I think, simply because it's slow developing. It's, the double reverse, the inside reverses, even their power plays that they run with 3 backs in the backfield, it seems to be slow developing. And Musselman getting off the football, and again, you just seen a difference in speed and quickness in Musselman and this Ripley team. And something, again, we talked about it last week and the week before that, and we'll continue to talk about it. It's hard to really simulate speed and quickness, and especially if you don't have it. Kind of like simulating height in basketball when you don't have it. If you don't have it, you don't have it, and it's hard to simulate that, and you have to try to learn to adjust. And how do you learn how to adjust? You try to learn how to adjust in practice. If you don't have it to practice against, that's one of the reasons why it's hard for you to make the adjustments out here in the regular flow of a game.
Some individual numbers for Ripley. Cyrus Casto, the senior quarterback, 2 of 5 passing for 54 yards, including a 41-yard connection with Jamison Schaefer, and also able to make a connection with 13 yards, the gain to Dawson Anderson. As for the running game, 4 carries, minus 16 yards for Casto, including an 11-yard loss on a sack in the first half. 4 carries, 13 yards for the fullback Jeremy Harper. Congratulations to him as he crosses 1,000 yards for this season, marking the first time in Ripley program history they've had 2,000-yard rushers in the same backfield. The other 1,000-yard rusher, just 5 carries for 8 yards in the first half for R.J. Evans, as this Musselman defense has really been able to keep him in check.
Well, yes, they have. They've really put the clamps on him, and it seems like they're sort of reading on him. Whichever way he goes, the ball goes, and so therefore, you've got a slant of people heading in the same direction, whichever direction he goes.
Let's turn our attention to that Musselman offense. They've run 36 plays in the first half. That is 16 more plays than the Ripley offense. And the Applemen have 289 yards of offense, 199 on the ground, and 90 through the air. 6 offensive possessions. And for the Musselman Applemen, after a turnover on downs, a punt of 32 yards, it was then 3 consecutive touchdown drives, and the last drive, a field goal drive, as the 27-yard field goal from Luke Barger with 1 second left in the first half has made it 24-0, the Musselman Applemen lead. Musselman with 12 first downs in this first half, 3 penalties for 25 yards, and while they've struggled on third down, Musselman's 0 for 5 on third downs, and they face some third and longs in this first half as well. They have been able to go 2 of 3 on fourth downs. Some individual numbers: 11 carries, 94 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns for Blake Hartman, 9 carries for 69 yards for Sebastian Odom, and I've got 5 carries for 36 yards in the first half for Trey Beard, the quarterback. Beard has completed 8 of 11 passes for 90 yards. Leading the way with 3 catches for 69 yards is Ethan Wilson. 4 grabs for just 6 yards for Blake Hartman, and a catch for 15 yards for Kagan Teets. That is a look at the first half numbers, brought to you by Bears Repair. They're at 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg for all of your automotive repair needs. Call the certified mechanics at Bears Repair at 304-262-0208. Special thanks again to our sponsors for our playoff coverage of Musselman football: the Berkeley County Health Department, Anthony's Pizza in Inwood and Spring Mills, the Mirius Group, and Ameriprise Financial Advisors, Bechtel Jewelers, Brown's Funeral Home, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, and Parsons Ford. Well, the winner of this one advances to the semifinals, where they will face the winner of tomorrow's matchup between Martinsburg and Parkersburg. And that means if Musselman holds on in this one and Martinsburg were to win tomorrow, it would be a rematch of the next to last game of the regular season for Musselman, last regular season game for Martinsburg, and it did not go the Appleman way in that one.
Well, no, Martinsburg really dominated that football game from the outset of the football game. They were a lot quicker. They were a lot more aggressive as far as offense and defense was concerned. I think Musselman sort of took a back seat, and that was a situation in which Martinsburg, I think, jumped on them pretty early and just kept them at bay. You know, it's hard to recover against a team like Martinsburg simply because they do have so many weapons offensively and so many weapons defensively that it makes it difficult. You know, you try to figure out where can we make up ground against a team like that, and it's difficult.
With that in mind, how much do you look forward to a rematch like that if you're Musselman as a player or a coach, or how much do you look at it and go, wow, that's a big hill to climb?
Well, you look at it from both ways. Number one, yeah, it's a big hill to climb. If they hadn't played each other at the beginning of the year or during the year, okay, that's fine. That's a little bit different. But you got beat 70-0, so obviously that's a big hill to climb. But secondly, you've got to say to your kids or your players that now we find out how good we really are. You know, and where have we come from that game of 70-0 to now? Where are we? Have we advanced? Have we gotten better? And can we come out and play and play air-free football and win this football game? Yes, it can be done.
This Musselman program looking to get back to 11 wins in a single season for the first time since they did it in back-to-back years in 1998 when they went 11-1, dropping a game in the quarterfinal round, and then they went 11-2 in 1999, and that would be the last time this program made it to the semifinals. Only time they've made it to the semifinals in state class AAA, and they fell in that matchup at Parkersburg that year to to finish 11-2. So this team is about to go where no Musselman team has gone since 1999 if they, over the next 24 minutes, can hold on to a 24-0 lead.
Yeah, that's big. That's really big for the program. This is a historic program. It's always been good in whatever level it's at, single A, double A, triple A. And this is something that this team has been looking for. They've got a lot of their best players are seniors. They've seemed like they kind of cultivated this group of guys. And so far, it's gone very, very well.
Cyrus Casto has it on the tee at the 42-yard left, and he will bounce a kick along the far side. It'll be grabbed at about the 32-yard line by one of the up men for Musselman, and he immediately goes down to hold the possession. That is a junior, Nick Turner, listed as a running back, 5'10", 155, and the Musselman offense will come onto the field at about their own 32.
Kind of wondering when are they going to take the kickoff out of football. They've done pretty much everything else close to it. So, and the players and the rules now have dictated you can do pretty much nothing. Just fair catch it, let it go, whatever.
Pistol formation as Trey Beard lines up in the shotgun with Sebastian Oldham behind him as we get our second half underway with three receivers to the wide side left. Musselman moving from right to left. In motion into the backfield goes Hartman as the handoff to Sebastian Oldham. Gets an opening right at the line, gets into the linebacking core, drags a tackler forward out to about the 38 for a pickup of 6. Good hard run and good blocking up front to help spring Sebastian Oldham.
Oldham weighs 200 pounds, 5'10", 200 pounds, and, he's a strong runner. He's a north-south runner, and he runs hard, and you really got to take this guy down.
11 carries, 65 yards now for Oldham. He'll again be the set behind Beard in that pistol formation. On 2nd down and 4, Beard claps the hands together, has that shotgun snap. He throws along the near side. Hash mark caught by Ethan Wilson to the 45, far side 40, a foot race to the 30, outside the numbers to the 20. He's to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone. It'll be a Musselman Appleman touchdown. That one covers 62 yards.
Just a deep slant play that time. I don't know what happened to the defensive back. He was on the slant route, and the defensive back was still backing up, so he just created more space. And once he caught it, it was just a foot race in which he was not going to win. So Musselman jumps on him here early here in the third quarter. 11:04 to go. It's 30-0, and the extra point kick will come in just a minute. But wow, that's a well-thrown football. And like I said before in the beginning of the ball game, don't let the weather keep you from throwing the football.
Yeah, Beard put that one right where he needed to, hitting Ethan Wilson in stride, and that enabled him to be able to get by the lone defender that really had a chance at him, and then it became a foot race to the end zone. Extra point up and good. Luke Barger able to put it through. 11:04 to play in the third, and we take a break with your score now 31-0 Musselman.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Luke Barger places the football on the tee at the 40 to our right, pretty much down the middle of the field. He's going to approach and get away a high, deep end-over-end kick. King backpedaling on it. Inside the 5, drops the football. It's free at the 6-yard line. He'll pick it up, getting to the 10-yard line. Spins away from a tackler there, but taken down at about the 12, maybe 13-yard line. It's Cody Schindeldecker, the sophomore, makes the special teams stop. Vic, 2 plays, 68 yards, 54 seconds. The 62-yard scoring strike going from Beard to Wilson. 23 touchdown passes on the season now for Trey Beard. Ethan Wilson, his 10th touchdown catch of the year, 31-0 Musselman.
Well thrown football, that's all I can say, is he got the crease on the slant pattern, got the football in stride, and made one move in the secondary, and that was it. 10:58 to go here in third quarter, 31-0. And, you know, if you're Ripley, well, where do you go from here?
Yeah, tough field position, their own 13-yard line. High formation behind the quarterback. Castro out from under center. Hands it off to Evans around the corner on the left side. He's outside the numbers to the 20-yard line, the 25-yard line, and then gets taken down just short of the 30. Mark him at about the 28. Looks like Blake Hartman who was able to catch up with him.
Well, he got all he could get out of that play. A nice-looking play. He outran the corner out there and got around him, but then he tried to stop and cut back. And, again, that's not going to work here tonight under these conditions. Just keep running and keep headed north and south.
Gain of 15 will now give him 23 yards on the night. First down and 10 now from their own 28. Just the third first down for Ripley. Castro wants to throw along the near side, in and out of the hands of his intended target as he looked to get it to Caden Hall. Hall's a sophomore, goes 5'10", 220, listed as a fullback. The incomplete pass stopping the clock. 10:32 remaining in our third quarter from their own 28. Second and 10 coming for Ripley. Castro now 2 of 6 passing for 54 yards. Hands the football off on this play and nothing going. Trying to find some running room to his right was once again R.J. Evans, and the leading tailback able to pick up, we'll call it 2, as the football's just shy of the 30-yard line. Well, the scoreboard gives him just 1, so they mark it as the 29. We'll join them and call it third down and 9. Another third and long situation, as we talked about with the stats from the first half. Musselman showing blitz. Now we'll back out of it. That was Reinhardt, the linebacker, who stepped up in the hole. Now Sebastian Odom stepping up in there as well. Out of the shotgun, Castro awaiting that snap as a back to his right side. He's got it, has some time to throw. Now the pocket collapsing. Ethan Wilson's got him in. Will bring him down. The sack will come, it looks like, back at the 20-yard line for -9.
Well, they were running 2 receivers out here. They were kind of running what we call a scissors play out here. A slot back and the flanker. The slot back would go down and curl to the outside down the sideline, and the outside receiver just ran kind of like a post pattern across the middle. They kind of scissored each other, and it just wasn't enough time. Those receivers hadn't gotten out of their routes yet before the defense had collapsed.
Davison Flint at the 10-yard line takes the snap, gets the punt away. Low line drive taken at the near side, 45-yard line by Blake Hartman. He'll dive forward back into Ripley territory down to about the 48. So the punt, pretty good one. That one getting about 35 yards with a 5-yard return, and with 9:06 to play in quarter number 3, the Musselman Applemen take over with again a short field from the 48 of Ripley, and that is now 5 consecutive scoring possessions for this Appleman offense from the first half to their first possession of this second half. On 1st and 10, Trey Beard with Odom behind him in the pistol. 3 receivers out to the wide side right. There is the snap. Give to Sebastian Odom. Runs into the back of his blocker and then follows him for a pickup of about 3 yards. Good push up front that time by, it looks like, 50, Trenton Howard. Yeah, Howard now going to come out at a 5-0. Yeah, nice job by the big fella, helping to get the gain of, we'll call it 3, mark it just outside of the 45-yard line. Second down and 7 coming. Sebastian Odom up to about 68 yards now on 12 carries as the ground attack continues to work well for this team. On second down and long, Beard again in that pistol formation, claps the hands together. He's got the snap, wants to throw. Oh, hang on, they blow the play dead. Again, a late whistle.
Procedure against Musselman. I thought they had a couple procedure calls in both teams in the first half. The officials were a little bit late and they didn't make a call, but that one was real late. They did call that one.
4 penalties, 30 yards now called on Musselman in this game. Move the football back to that midfield stripe where it will bring up a Second down and about 12. Appleman staying in that same formation. They've been in that pistol a lot today. Again, 3 receivers to the right. Beard going to fake the handoff and keep it. No place to go. Grabbed from behind by Chris DeFrank, who will make the tackle for a loss.
Good defensive play that time. Again, both teams having trouble with anything that's slow developing. It seems as though the defense is able to collapse on them. Musselman had that situation on the other side defensively against the double reverses and the scissors and the slow developing plays by Ripley, and a little bit of taste of their own medicine on that slow developing play.
Musselman 0 of 5 on third down conversions in the first half. Face a 3rd and 13 here. Hartman in motion from left to right, and again we'll have the play blown dead just at the snap of the football.
Another procedure against Musselman.
So -5 more, 5 penalties, 35 yards now on the Appleman. Let's make this 3rd down and 18, and they're now back at their own 44. This possession started at the 48 of Ripley.
This is what you don't want to have happen. You don't want to lose the momentum. You don't want to lose all the flow that you had going on. And you got 7:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter, and a good possibility you're going to be playing again next week. You want to keep that momentum going.
Sebastian Oldham goes in motion out of the backfield to the right. He'll set up as one of 2 receivers that way. 3 here to the near side. Beard with a little underneath shovel pass. It's caught by Blake Hartman. Slips through 1 tackle to the midfield stripe. Hit and brought down from behind. And let's wait and see where they will mark him. It looks like the 48-yard line. That's back to the original line of scrimmage, so it will gain roughly 8 yards. It is a pass completion on that little underneath shovel. It will not be enough for the first, and you got to imagine Beard will punt it away, and the Appleman will play the field position battle right now, or field position game, leading 31-0.
Well, Ripley's not believing it because they got nobody back. Now he's sending somebody back. There's a point in each other.
Beard is the quarterback and also the punter. Awaiting the snap, he's got it, and he's going to run here to the near side. He's going to slip a tackle at the midfield stripe. He's to the 45-40, to the 35, and he's got the first down. Taken down along the near sideline inside the 30. Mark him close to the 28. No way.
Maybe that's the reason they didn't send anybody back. I think they were just confused, basically. But that was just a rub it in your face type situation right there. If you're looking at now a dejected football team out there in Ripley. They're kind of very lethargic, walking around, and it's like, let's hurry up and get this thing over with.
That's a gain of 20 down to the 28-yard line. Another 4th down conversion, 3 of 4 for the Appleman. On first down, Beard wants to throw, rolling far side, lets the pass go. Grab made at the 15-yard line. The receiver able to back his way along that far sideline for an extra couple of yards after initially being hit, but would not go down. And let's see, that's Ethan Wilson with yet another catch.
Nice throw by Beard as well on the run. He throws the ball really well, rolling out to his right side.
That should be good for yet another first down, as the pass completion will go down to the 12-yard line. So that was good for 16 more. 1st and 10 coming. They can still get a first down without getting into the end zone. Beard taking the shotgun snap, throws it out near side. Grab made on a wide receiver screen, and Kagan Teets coming back towards the middle of the field, made the catch, turned it upfield. No one was there as he walked into the end zone for the score. Let's make it 6 straight possessions now that this Musselman offense has put points on the board.
Pretty good little pick play that time, and they were in, and the defensive back, number 5, was Ramsey, got picked off there, but he was so far behind the play, it didn't matter.
Extra point attempt for Luke Barger coming at the end of a 6-play, 48-yard scoring drive. Extra point attempts, snap back, hold down, kick up, and it's good. 6:05 remaining here in quarter number 3. Back in 60 seconds with Musselman leading Ripley 38-0. Well, the ensuing kickoff off the foot of Luke Barger popped up along the far sideline. A Ripley Upman calls for a fair catch but cannot handle it. The football free along that far sideline, and I believe the Musselman Applemen should have the football.
We haven't seen a signal from the officials yet. They're talking it over.
Yeah, the officials waiting to make a call, but a pair of Applemen were over there. Bartles.
The Applemen had the ball. Actually, two Ripley players ran into each other trying to make the catch.
Bartles and Schindeldecker both were over there. And now, what are we going to have?
It's going to be a re-kick. Now, what happened on that play?
I do not know. So a re-kick. Maybe they...
Apparently, they must have kicked it before the signal given by their referee to start play.
All right, well, that gives us an extra moment to look back at that drive for the Musselman Applemen. 6 plays, 48 yards, 3 minutes and 1 second. It was a 12-yard touchdown pass as Beard hit Teets, the 7th touchdown reception for Kagan Teets this season. 24 touchdown passes now for Beard against just 4 INTs. All right, now we're ready for the ball to be put into play. And the kick from Barger, a deep one along the near side, taken by King at about the 4-yard line. Races up the field across the 15, gets to the 20, hit and then taken down at the 26-yard line, able to spin away to pick up that 1 extra yard. Well, let's see what Ripley can do with just 5:56 to play here in quarter number 3. It'll be their second offensive possession of this second half. The first time they had it, a gain of 15 on their very first play, but after that, they end up with an incomplete pass, a pickup of 1, and a sack for -9 yards. From their own 26 on 1st and 10. Casto will bring a man in motion to the far side. Quick inside handoff going to the fullback, and Jeremy Harper tried to find some room to his left and only got back to the line of scrimmage.
Again, too slow developing there. Musselman is really dominating the line of scrimmage, and you've got to start moving people. You got to get angles in which to give your running backs an opportunity to run, and Musselman's just simply dominating up front, so therefore there's no running room there.
Second down and 10 coming from their own 26. Casto again going to go from under center. Back behind him is Harper as the fullback, and now Evans goes in motion into the backfield, and he will line up as the deep man in that stick eye, as you might call it. Casto out from under center, hands it off, and Evans caught in the backfield, taken down on the play, and that is a nice job by Blake Hartman to wrap him up. Some help there as well from Sebastian Oldham. That tackle inside the 25, back at the 23 for a loss of 3. Here comes 3rd and 13.
Well, it's difficult when you run that type of an offense. Again, if you take a look at the offensive linemen, it's almost, again, I'll talk about the good old days of football, the foot-to-foot. I mean, the guard between the center and the guard and the tackle and the end, almost foot-to-foot. So that leaves very little room for, maneuverability inside.
On 3rd down and 13, Casto taking the snap, wants to throw deep along that far side and caught in stride at the 40-yard line, racing down the far side to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone. Ripley has the touchdown as the grab made by Cameron Ramsey. That one's going to cover 77 yards.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's as good a pass you're going to see from anybody at any level. That was a great throw that time, and I really thought the ball was going to be knocked down. I really did, and that ball sailed right over the defender's head, right in his arms, and he made the catch and strided in the end zone. Congratulations. I'll tell you, that was just a great, great throw.
Yes, it was. Hit him right in stride, allowing Ramsey, the junior wide receiver, to take it to the house. 71 yards on that reception and touchdown. Extra point attempt on the way. It is up, and that kick is good. The PAT for Davison Flint. Back in 60 with 4:15 to play in the 3rd, and Musselman now leading 38-7.
you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
WU Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
Now the ensuing kickoff, a bouncer along the near side between the hash marks and the numbers taken by the Appleman Blake Hartman, working to the near side numbers up across the 30 and out to the 35, and that is where Musselman will have it for the Ripley Vikings. It was a three-play 74-yard drive, a minute 41 seconds, 77 yards on the touchdown pass going from starting quarterback Cyrus Casto to Cameron Ramsey. 10 TD passes now for Castro. That's a first touchdown catch of the year for Ramsey.
How about that? I'll tell you, the fans over there, Ripley, are probably saying, where's that been all year?
From their own 35, 1st and 10, Musselman football. Sebastian Odom in motion out of the backfield. Sets up to the right side, two receivers that way, three here to the near side. They'll all be blockers along this near side for Trey Beard, who runs into his own man at the 40 and then gets taken down out of bounds out at about the 44-yard line. That game will be good for close to 9, but hang on. Penalty marker down back in the middle of the field.
Wow. That was a penalty that was on the other side of the field, totally away from the play. Musselman's got to realize that, the players on this team, he had 20 penalties last year, and they're starting to mount up here. Last week. And now they're starting to mount up here in the second half of this ballgame for no reason.
But hold on. This one looks like it's going against Ripley. Personal foul against the Vikings at the end of the play. There we go. So the pickup was good for close to 9 yards, and now the first penalty against the Ripley Vikings, and it's a personal foul penalty.
Well, the official saw what we say, not the action, but the reaction.
Moves the football down to the 42-yard line in Ripley territory, where it becomes a first down and 10. Empty backfield again for Beard. Claps the hands together, takes the snap, throws deep over the middle, has an open Ethan Wilson. He's got it at the 20, to the 10, and into the end zone for the Musselman Appleman touchdown. Ethan Wilson is having himself a game, his second touchdown catch of this second half.
Well, that was entirely too easy that time. And again, with playing man in the secondary that time, he had basically a defensive end trying to pick up a tight end coming off the line of scrimmage. There was just nobody there in the secondary. Most of the night, they play their defensive backs are about 5 yards off the football. I'll tell you what, if this had been a normal day without the cold weather and the freeze, whatever, he'd probably have about 6 or 7 touchdowns, because there's no way they can defend against those guys playing that close to the line of scrimmage.
Extra point attempt coming once again for Luke Barger, the sophomore, able to put it up and put it through. 3 minutes, 52 seconds to play in the third. Back in a moment with Musselman in front now, 45-7.
To see the inspirations of Mishu's tuxedo collection, look to the sky and stars. For the jewelry itself, come to Bechtel Jewelers for the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th. These playful pieces are a wonderland of sparkly blacks and whites, plus other festive colors. Gems like shimmering black druzy, onyx, and ice quartz adorn silver and gold. Enjoy sophisticated everyday elegance at the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th, and let your inner sparkle shine. Only at Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood.
Now they are setting that football up quickly to get the kickoff away after a score as Barger pops it up along the near side, and Noah Westfall, a junior, makes the fair catch on that kick, and it will belong to Ripley at about their own 38-yard line. The Musselman drive, 2 plays, 65 yards in 17 seconds, a 42-yard touchdown pass from Beard to Wilson. 25 touchdown passes now on the season, 3 on the night for Beard, and touchdown catch number 2 on the night and 11 on the season for Wilson. 3:51 still to play in our third quarter. From their own 38-yard line, 1st and 10, Ripley trailing 45-7. Casto out from under center, hands it off. The tailback coming here to the near side, met and taken down almost immediately. Sebastian Odom, the linebacker. That's a form tackle on R.J. Evans.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. 3:35 to go here in the third quarter. 45-7, and Musselman has really dominated this game. The score is an indication how this game has been played.
Yeah, right now Ripley struggling to try to reach 100 total yards of offense. We had them at 58 in the first half, and right now, outside of that 77-yard touchdown pass, not much else going offensively. Casto on the play action, flush from the pocket, able to escape, throws along the near side, and incomplete. Trying to get that one to Evans out of the backfield. He was open, but coming back for the football, just never really got a beat on it. You could tell he didn't really see the football well.
No, he didn't. Had he caught that one, it might have been a foot race down the sideline. There actually was nobody there, nowhere near him there. So big third down play coming up.
And Musselman actually catches a break there.
Yes, they did.
Brings up 3rd down and 9. Ripley 2 of 7 on 3rd down conversions tonight. From their own 39, Casto brings a man in motion here to the backfield. Now slings a pass out far side and too high off the hands of the intended receiver, Jamison Schaefer.
So they're going to have to kick it away again with 3:03 to go, and it's like 3 plays and out, and so Musselman will get another opportunity.
And just 2 first downs in this second half, and now 4 on this game for Ripley. Been tough going offensively tonight. Waiting that snap. Davison Flint at about his own 28 and gets the kick out of there, but it's an end-over-end kick coming near side, bouncing at the 45 of the Appleman, and then rolling down to the 40-yard line, and will be picked up by Ethan Walker. Wow, he came in there out of nowhere and scooped that one up at the 39 and then got tackled immediately. That was a dangerous play. The punt will cover only about 22 yards and no return. 2:53 remaining in quarter number 3.
It's a 45-7 football game, but you don't make mistakes like that. You don't play around and try to pick up a ball like that. You fumble that football, and if it's in a close ball game or a game that could go either way, you could have some real serious problems. I'm sure he'll get a little talking to over on the sideline.
Trenton Howard, an offensive lineman, heading out from the sideline to join his teammates, and now Musselman gets set on 1st and 10 from their own 39. There is the snap, and Beard gives the end-around handoff to Blake Hartman. Hartman moving to his right, gets met and taken down after a gain of 2 as he did get to the 41.
Both teams having trouble with any type of reverse, double handoffs, and whatever scissors plays in the backfield. Slow development. Both teams have really taking care of those defensively.
First handoff to Hartman here in the second half, and that's now 96 yards on 12 carries for him. Need to get him a couple of more yards and get him over 100 on the night on 2nd down and 8.
Everybody on the Ripley team within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage.
They fake the handoff to Odom, then fake the handoff to Hartman, give the pass to Odom in the flat on the left side. He's into Ripley territory, hurdles over a man at the 45, down inside the 40, eventually taken down at the 35-yard line, and the pass completion good for 24 yards. That was a nice play, a little slow developing, but worked. 1st down and 10 coming. I've got 18 first downs on the night for Musselman. And 14 of 17 passing for 254 yards for Beard. On 1st down and 10. Trip receivers to the wide side right, a single receiver to the left. A back in the backfield, that's Sebastian Odom. They fake the handoff to him. Beard keeps it, gives the pitch to Hartman, turning the corner on the right side, outside the numbers to the 30. Penalty marker down as Hartman gets into the clear, and down the far sideline goes in for the score, but it's coming back as it looks like we'll have a hold at about the 32. That'll be 3 yards into that run, and then it will come back from there. -10 on the hold, and that's 6 penalties, 45 yards on the night now for Musselman.
Here we go again, another situation. And these guys are out on the corners. You know, you're out there in wide open space, and the official is standing no more than usually about 10 or 12 feet away from you. You're not going to hide a holding.
Yeah.
You know, you block the best that you can, and if the guy beats you on the block, let him beat you on the block. You know, you're still going to get the ball back about 12 to 14 yards down the field instead of that penalty there.
First down and 17 as that hold. It did come 3 yards into that carry from the 42 of Ripley.
It's not a knock on him. You see it in every level, you know, clear up to the NFL.
Pistol formation as Beard takes that snap, fakes the handoff, fakes a little pitch over to Hartman, and then keeps it, and the quarterback able to get back to the line of scrimmage, and nothing more. So no gain, no loss for Beard, who's up to 64 yards now on 9 carries, and it will bring up a second down and 17.
Clock running with 1:10 to go here in the third quarter. 45-7, Musselman leads it over Ripley.
And the Applemen ready to go back to the semifinals in AAA for the first time since 1999. On 2nd and 17, Beard back to throw over the middle, a little low and off the hands of Ethan Wilson. He hasn't dropped many today.
No, he hasn't, but that one he should have gone to the ground with. If he goes to the ground on that one, he's going to make that catch there, and there's going to be end up being a third down about 5.
Instead, it'll bring up a third down and 17. Just the 4th incompletion of the night for Beard. 14 of 18, 254 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. On 3rd and long, pistol formation. Oldham, single set behind the quarterback in the shotgun. 3 receivers here to the left of the formation. Here comes the blitz. Beard has the pocket collapse and goes down at the 49-yard line. Boy, he had no time to get rid of that one. That loss will be for 7 yards as Beard gets sacked for the second time tonight.
Yes, he did. I tell you, they brought everybody on that particular play. They sold out, and they got exactly what they wanted. A lot of pressure on the quarterback, and he didn't have a chance. I mean, he could have lofted it, and it would have been basically kind of like a jump ball situation. Down to 25 seconds to go, and Musselman's going to punt it away. 12 seconds on the play clock.
One of those crazy stats as Musselman is now 0 of 7 on third down conversions tonight, and yet they lead 45-7. Beard punches that kick out of there, running up and making a fair catch at the 21-yard line is the return man, and that looks to be, and it is, Cameron Ramsey, who was able to run up underneath of that one. Wow, that was dangerous. I thought he may lose it and seemed to maybe be juggling it a little bit as he went down to the ground at about the 21-yard line.
Yeah, that was a nice play. He held on to it. The thing about that is you got to make that play. If you don't, you're going to be backed up inside of your 10-yard line because that ball's going to roll that far.
Only about 21 yards on that kick, and with 8 seconds to play in our third quarter, it'll be the 4th offensive possession of this second half coming for Ripley. They've had 2 first downs in this second half, just 4 first downs on this game. On 1st down and 10. Casto out from under center, hands it off to Evans. He was juggling the football. It's free. It'll be picked up, and from the 15-yard line down the middle of the field, racing into the end zone, is that Reinhardt? Yes, it is Chris Reinhardt with the fumble return touchdown for about 15 yards.
I don't know, for some strange reason, I thought something weird like this was going to happen. I said it was going to be a fumble or an interception. I was thinking in my mind, I don't know why. But that ball just bounced right back up to him. 51-7's our score, the extra point kick coming up. And the clock has just turned over to no time on the clock.
Turnover number 4 on the night for the Ripley Vikings. And, man, really hard to win this late in the postseason, really any time during the season, when you turn it over 4 times.
Well, especially in the first half. They took themselves out of the ball game in the first half with those 3 turnovers.
Luke Barger to attempt the extra points. The snap coming back. Placement and kick. It's up and it is good. And when we come back, we'll be heading to the 4th quarter and a running clock through 3. It's Musselman 52 and Ripley 7.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Luke Barger with a popped-up kick along the near side, and Upman making the fair catch at the 34-yard line. That grab made by Jamison Schaefer, and that is where Ripley will have it as we are now into quarter number 4. Well, it wasn't a drive summary, but rather a 15-yard fumble return touchdown for Chris Reinhardt to put Musselman in front 52-7. Fitting this defense scores the way they've played.
Might as well. It's been done every other way here tonight. You know, Ripley itself just really shot themselves in the foot in the first half when they had those 3 fumbles, which took them out of the football game. Musselman capitalizing on those and just simply making plays, and they've done it the whole night.
On 1st down and 10 from their own 33, Cyrus Casto, the senior quarterback, looking over to the far sideline and getting that play call. Fullback in the backfield behind him is Harper. They will hand him the football, and he'll get out to the 35 for a gain of 2. This is a tough way for a very good season to end for this Ripley Vikings ball club. 6 carries now, 15 yards for the fullback Jeremy Harper. He goes over 1,000 yards, joining Evans as the first tandem to have 1,000-yard rushing seasons in the same season for the Vikings, and they will wrap up their year at 10 wins and 2 losses. Casto back to throw along that far side, has an open receiver, but just over top of his outstretched arms is Dalton Myers. Again, he didn't seem to see that ball very well.
He did. Apparently he didn't. It seemed like the ball was catchable.
Yes.
And his arm didn't even go up. I don't know if he just, the glare or something, he missed it or whatever. That's the second time we've seen a situation like that from these Ripley players.
3 of 10 passing, 131 yards and a touchdown now on the evening for Cyrus Casto. With that incompletion, it's 3rd down and 8 from their own 35.
Again, a reminder, it's a running clock now with 10 minutes and 15 seconds.
There is the handoff, and on a jet sweep trying to turn the corner on the right side is Dalton Myers, and Myers able to get out close to the 40-yard line. He'll pick up 5, and it will bring up a 4th down and 3, and let's see what Ripley will elect to do.
Well, basically, you know, normally you'd say you obviously you punt the football, but you have no choice here now. 52-7, 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go in a football game. You have to go for it.
From their own 40 on a 4th down and 3. Did not attempt a 4th down in the first half. This will be the first time they've attempted a 4th down here in this second half. Casto out of the shotgun, taking the snap, looking to the near side, and it's just a quick turnaround. Button hook, if you will, for Cameron Ramsey. He'll make that catch out at the 44. That gain's good for 4, and he gets the first.
You know, I'm not going to try to coach Ripley's team, but I was wondering why they haven't thrown more during the course of the year. They do not throw the ball badly at all. They got some guys who can run some pretty decent routes. The quarterback throws the ball really well. I guess it's just a sound philosophy of run, 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 and that's pretty much it.
From their own 44 on a 1st down and 10, it's going to be the quarterback keeper. And a nice job by Casto to find a little opening at the line. He darted up the middle to his right and gets taken down at the midfield stripe for a pickup of about 6.
And I'm not saying it's wrong or whatever. I mean, they're 10-1 on the year, so it's worked well for them. But I think they could have been, they have the capabilities to have some guys can catch it, and obviously a quarterback can throw it.
On 2nd down and 4 from midfield, Casto wants to throw deep along this near side, and that pass over everybody's head and incomplete. Down the near sideline, looked like Dalton Myers was probably his intended target, but also Jamison Schaefer was back there as well.
Not much in a variety of pass patterns, and we've seen that scissors play about 5 or 6 times here, and hasn't worked yet, where they haven't hit that pass yet. But their best throws have been, the shorter, quicker stop patterns and slant patterns. It's going to bring up another big down.
3rd and about 4 from the midfield stripe. And the give is to the fullback, and he hit the hole, kind of bounced a little to his right, and then the safety, Ethan Walker, came up to put the big hit on him. And he'll get a yard, and that is it. Harper on that carry. Boy, he's tough. 6'2", 175. The fullback picking up a yard, and it will bring up a 4th down and 3 from the 49 in Musselman territory. 8th play of the possession coming. Back to throw, Casto looking near side and hang on as he lets the pass go, and the catch is being made by Evan King. Whistles blow, stopping the play.
Musselman's offside before they were bringing all kinds of people on that play. One of the linebackers got into the neutral zone before the snap, so that's going to be enough for the 1st down.
6 first downs now in this ball game for Ripley as they get the 1st down the quote-unquote easy way.
And as we talk, we're still on the running clock. 7 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the football game. 52-7. Musselman cruising here.
7 penalties, 50 yards now against the Applemen. From the Musselman 44, Casto wants to throw deep along this near side and incomplete, and a penalty marker does come down at the 10-yard line. The pass intended for Justin Wheeler, the senior, and the pass interference penalty will go against Musselman. Looks like Nick Zamora who was out there.
Well, I'll tell you, Matt, if he doesn't pass interference in that call on that play, that's going to be a touchdown. That ball was right there.
Pardon me, it's Justin Lewis, not Zamora. Lewis on that coverage.
Tell you, he throws a good pass. I mean, he's thrown the ball well here tonight for somebody who doesn't throw the football.
They mark off the 15-yard penalty, 8 penalties, 65 yards now on Musselman, plus 15 for the pass interference. It'll set the football down pretty much right at the 30-yard line in Musselman territory, where it is 1st down and 10. Clock winding, 6:08 and counting in this one. All Musselman leading 52-7 as the Applemen will head to the semifinals for the first time since 1999. A handoff on an end around, coming near side, staying in bounds to the 20, and then stepping out of bounds. It looks like they'll mark at the 22-yard line. Dalton Myers on that end around. Got forced to the sideline, quickly cut it up, and they'll say he did go out at the 22 after a pickup of 8.
See a few new jerseys in there for Musselman on defense. So now we're going to have a penalty holding against Ripley. I saw the holding. I didn't see the flag. I mean, the holding was pretty obvious.
2 penalties, 25 yards on the game now for Ripley as they move the football back to the 40-yard line.
And again, a reminder, the clock's still running. 5:12 to go in the ball game.
So we will bring up a 2nd down and about 20 yards to go for a 1st, with the ball now back outside, just outside of the 40 of Musselman. 9th play of this possession. Back to the right side of the quarterback as Cyrus Casto awaits the shotgun snap. He's got it. Going to follow that back off the right side. Nothing going as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe we give him a yard. 7 carries, minus 18 yards now for Casto, with the football on the opposite side of the 40-yard line. 10th play of the possession coming. What should now be a Let's see, second down. Yeah, that last play, I apologize. I think I said second down. I forgot the down over after the hold. So it's now second down and 20. So that last one was a first down and 20. If they're not careful, they're going to run the final 11:45 off this clock. Handoff on an end around going to Cameron Ramsey. He acted like he wanted to throw as he held up just a little bit, looked downfield, and then eventually gets taken down for a loss of 5 back to the 45.
Yeah, that was going to be kind of like a halfback pass there, and he was going to go to the wideout on the far side over there, which I think it was Schaffner, I think. Yeah. But he wanted to throw, but secondary had it covered, plus the rush came in on him way too quickly.
Wow, congratulations to our own Rob Marigo and the Oakdale Bears in the Maryland State playoffs. Oakdale ends Damascus winning streak 24-7, the final in that one. Pass coming near side as Casto hits Noah Westfall, and Westfall goes out of bounds along the near side at about the 34, and that gain would be good for 11 yards. Wow, what a big win. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Rob and the boys over there. I'll tell you, that's a humongous win.
54-game winning streak, the nation's longest going into that one. From the 34 of Musselman, it'll be a fourth down, and now about 14 yards to go for a first.
I'll listen to you guys talking about that today.
That's incredible. On 4th and 14, Casto wants to throw. Rolling a little to that far side. Now throws deep back over the middle. Has an open receiver inside the 10. Makes the grab at the 5-yard line. Taken down there. It's Dalton Myers. Mark him at the 4. That's a 30-yard gain. Oh, wow.
Well, the official has blown his whistle for something. If we have a call against Ripley or illegal man downfield. Oh. With the running clock, 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the ball game.
So -5 on the penalty. I believe that's all the penalty is on this, correct?
Yes. So a 5-yarder. Should be also loss of down.
Which means Musselman would take over, right? No, it won't be the loss of down. They're going to give him that opportunity, but it'll now be out. They marked off 10 yards there. Oh, boy. 3 penalties, 35 yards now called on Ripley. Ton of penalties in this possession. Right now, I don't think anybody cares as far as that goes. The outcome decided, and then the clock continuing to wind. Casto taking that direct snap, and the quarterback rolling to his right. We'll get to the 40-yard line as he is going to gain just a handful of yards, and that will wrap things up on this possession as the Musselman Applemen will now take over. So the run gets to the 40-yard line. Musselman going to burn a timeout, making sure they get their team to the sideline, get all their personnel together, and then we'll have a chance to run the final 1:44 off of this clock. A win for the Musselman Applemen, sending them into the semifinals. Again, for the first time since 1999, and could set up a rematch with the Martinsburg Bulldogs, as the Bulldogs and the Parkersburg Big Reds will be playing tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 at Coburn Field, and the winner of that one will now know who they will face. It will be the Musselman Applemen in the semifinals next weekend. Congratulations to Brian Thomas, his staff, and this Musselman program. 11 wins in a single season for the first time since they did it back-to-back years in 98 and 99. From their own 40-yard line on a first down and 10 with 1:35 left. Snaps a little high over the head of the quarterback, and diving on that loose football is Jacob Miller. So a bunch of the young guys out there now to play, and that snap was high for the quarterback, Caleb Hardy, who's a sophomore. It'll be a loss back to the 29, so -11. Clock continues to wind as they set the football. Hardy will now again await that shotgun snap from his own 29. He's got it, going to hand it off, and nothing doing. No place to go for the tailback, who immediately gets taken down, and again that looks to be Jacob Miller.
We're down to 50 seconds to go in the ball game as the clock continues to run, 52-7, and pretty good indication of what the game was like. A lot of times the score is not the indication of the game. Tonight, it definitely was.
Third down, 23 for Musselman. Could be the final play of this game coming as we're down to 35 seconds. Hardy again awaiting the shotgun snap in the pistol formation. Going to hand it off. That's Jacob Miller. No, that's not Miller this time. At 17, Colin Newland, a sophomore running back. Newland battles his way back up to the 30 for a 3-yard gain. And now we look at the clock, and it's down to 17 seconds. And that is going to do it, as the Musselman Applemen will not need to snap it again. We are headed to zeros on the clocks. And congratulations to Musselman. They are headed to the state class AAA semifinals. A 2-minute timeout. We'll come back to Cardinal Stadium to wrap it up on our post-game show, brought to you by WVU Medicine. And that's WVU Medicine, Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, the best in healthcare close to home. Your final tonight, Musselman 52 and Ripley 7.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
At Anthony's Pizza Inwood location, nobody does it better. We make our own dough and we bake it fresh twice daily. That's freshly baked twice a day to make sure your pizza always tastes great. Take advantage of our Anthony's Pizza special offer. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas, just $17.99. And when you buy 3 12-inch subs, the 4th one's on us. For the best in freshly made pizzas, subs, calzones, stromboli, lasagna, and more, it's got to be Anthony's Pizza, 372 Middleway Pike in Inwood. Call 229-7373 for delivery. Anthony'sMenu.com.
Well, we welcome you back here to Cardinal Stadium along with Vic Holmes. I'm Matt Miller at the studio. Matt Crawford, Caleb Valero, our engineers. Chip Rittenhouse is our TV10 cameraman. Vic, it's the Musselman Applemen who get the victory by the final score of 52-7. Hard to believe we were scoreless after the first 12 minutes, but in that second quarter, Musselman really began to take charge as they scored on 3 straight touchdown drives, added a field goal drive right at the end of the half, and then scored on 3 consecutive possessions to open the second half, really taking charge of this game.
They really did it. In that first half, I think the biggest problem, in this football game for Ripley was the fact that they had those 3 turnovers. They fumbled the ball 3 times, and they were going places. It wasn't like they weren't scoring, but they were moving the football. They had control, and they were in the ball game. And all of a sudden, you get positive plays, good plays, and then you fumbled the football on 3 different occasions, and then Musselman just took advantage of those. And that was a football game in itself. This is a football team that can't recover from a lot of those things. Again, they don't have the big play capabilities that you need to have in those situations. So consequently, when you get behind like that, and then Musselman started to tee off defensively and just simply start coming, which again stymied their offensive scheme. And with that, again, the old-fashioned, foot to foot at the line of scrimmage and so forth, it made it very, very difficult for them to come from behind.
How about, this Ripley offense, 106 yards in the second half, but remember 77 of that came on the touchdown strike with 4:15 to play in the third. Outside of that one long play, they were never able to establish anything against this Musselman D.
No, nothing with any consistency whatsoever, and then on top of that, and when they did have a couple of plays that they did okay on, they ended up with penalties and too many third and longs. And you're in a situation where you can't or you don't throw the ball very well. You can't have third and longs. You can't have 3rd and 6 or more. And they had that many times. And consequently, if you're not a throwing team with any consistency, it's just not going to work against a team like Musselman, who was very aggressive, came after them, and just kept pressure on them the whole night long.
All right, let's take a 60-second break, and then we will come back to Cardinals Stadium. When we return, we'll take a look at some of the numbers from this one again. Your final score tonight in the quarterfinal round, Musselman 52 and Ripley 7. Once again on the WVU Medicine, Berkeley, and Jefferson Medical Center post-game show. Time now to take a quick look at the numbers, and let's begin on the defensive side for Musselman. I've got Ripley, 20 plays in the first half, 58 yards. Second half, 23 plays, 106 yards. 43 plays, 164 yards. And 146 of that came through the air. A rushing team that came in averaging 311 yards a game on the ground. Ripley had 18 rushing yards, according to our numbers.
Well, yeah. I mean, Musselman just dominated them up front. There's no ifs and buts about it. And basically, when you start getting yourself in situations where they were getting minus yardage on first down, quite often minus yardage on second down, then you got 3rd and longs, and you're not a throwing football team. Musselman just feasted off of their inabilities to be able to make plays on the first and second down.
Looking at some individual numbers, their leading rusher, R.J. Evans, over 1,400 yards coming in, 9 carries for 22 yards, and 7 carries for 16 yards for their fullback, Jeremy Harper. He needed 9 to get over the 1,000-yard mark, and he did that. Congratulations to he and his Ripley teammates, as for the first time in program history, a pair of 1,000-yard rushers in the same backfield. First and second down really hard for this Ripley team as they went 2 of 11 on 3rd down, and Vic, as you said, plenty of 3rd down and longs in the second half alone. 3rd and 9, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8, 1 3rd and 4, and then a 3rd and 25. Hard to get a 3rd down when you got that much to cover.
Yeah, there's not many plays in the playbook for 3rd and 25s and 3rd and 9s even for a running football team. And, the thing about it is, this is the first time you and I have seen them, and we could say, well, they don't throw the ball bad. I mean, they could mix some passing into their offense, but they play 12 games. They came in here 10-1 or whatever, and with that run game, so it worked pretty well for them. We're not trying to change their philosophy or whatever, but I think they needed some variance or whatever, and I think their schedule dictated that. I mean, if you look at their scores, how lopsided their scores were, they didn't need to throw the ball.
Speaking of that variance, that's exactly what this Musselman offense had. Are you ready? 36 plays, 289 yards in the first half, 19 plays, 189 yards in the second half. That's 55 plays, 478 total yards. We had 224 on the ground, 254 through the air. They were very balanced in their attack, getting it done really on the ground in the first half, and then the second half through the air. And you got to love the Musselman team as they celebrate the quarterfinal round victory and a trip to the semis with a snowball fight on the sideline after the team huddle has broken up. As you look back at the first half, 3 rushing touchdowns for Blake Hartman. We had him unofficially ending the game at 13 carries for 99 yards. Maybe they'll find a yard somewhere out there and get him 100 yards on the night. Meanwhile, Sebastian Odom had a very good game carrying the football. We had him at 12 carries, 68 yards. Then in the second half, it was Trey Beard who threw 3 touchdown passes. We had Beard unofficially finishing 14 of 18 for 254 yards. And, hey, congratulations as well to Ethan Wilson. We had him with 3 catches, 69 yards in the first half. In the second half, he had a 62-yard touchdown grab, another 16-yard grab, and then a 42-yard touchdown grab. Ethan Wilson had himself a game as well.
He most certainly did. And I'll tell you, offensively, a lot of guys had a big day, and as big a day as anyone else is that offensive line. They simply, I think, just dominated up front. And Ripley, I think, to a certain degree, they did some things well. I mean, they came in there with a good game plan of what they wanted to do. It was working well early, but, Musselman, I guess, kind of got in gear with what they were doing and started to run the football directly at them instead of running so many angles and so forth. Because if you got a team that has linebackers like they have that did a lot of blitzing, they come right at you, and they did a good job of pursuing to the sidelines, then you've got to do something a little bit different. The way you slow them down, run right at them, make them take on blocks, and then that changed the whole complexion of the football game.
It certainly did, and as a result, Musselman goes on for a 52-7 win. One final timeout, and then we come back to wrap up our portion of the post-game show, brought to you by WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers. When we come back, we'll name our player of the game, and we'll set you up for our next broadcast and what comes next for these Musselman-Applemen. This is West Virginia High School playoff football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
WVU Medicine has planted itself here, and they're the first university that I've found who wants to take ownership of this population of Western Maryland, Southern Pennsylvania, Eastern Ohio, and the good people of West Virginia. And it's really refreshing to see.
I was able to do things that the patients were going away for, which is good for the patients, and it's good for us because we have more resources.
Certainly has helped take us to another level.
All right, back one final time here at Cardinal Stadium at Spring Mills High School, neutral site for tonight's quarterfinal round matchup as Musselman gets the win over Ripley, 52-7. Vic, player of the game. That's a tough call. I really liked what Ethan Wilson did catching the football tonight, but of course Trey Beard did a great job getting the football to him in his hands. Blake Hartman had a nice night, going right at 100 yards. You got Chris Reinhardt, who helped to lead a very stingy defense, had a 15-yard fumble return for a touchdown. So I think we've got a whole host of candidates.
I'll tell you what, under these circumstances, I don't think anybody here on that Musselman team would step up to take the award because it was a great team effort. I mean, we got a lot of everything from everyone on this football team tonight, especially I would say at the quarterback spot, simply because of the fact that he threw it, he ran it, he controlled it more so than anything else. But there are 2 or 3 other guys we could say the same thing about. I think it's playoff time, and I think we'll give it to the whole team. I think this is uncharted territory since, 1999?
There you go. Yeah, these kids have no idea what was going on back in 1999, and yet here they are kind of putting their stamp on this program, helping to return this Musselman team to some of the glory that you might say they have had in the past as they pick up their 11th win against just one loss and head to the state semifinals for the first time since 1999. Last time they had 11 wins. Congratulations to the Musselman Applemen and to the Ripley Vikings as well, as they had a great season come to a close here tonight as they wrap up their year at 10 wins and 2 losses. Hey, first playoff appearance in the last 9 years, and here they were in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, I think they obviously had a great season. They would like to this football game had been, even if they lost, had been a little bit closer. But good part of that had to do with their own undoing. Those 3 fumbles in the first half really, I think, set up Musselman for. Now, take away those 3 fumbles, Musselman's still going to win the football game, but I think, they at least had a fighting chance.
Tomorrow afternoon with a kickoff at 1:30, pregame at 12:30, and a special half-hour edition of Miller Time getting underway at 12 noon as we lead into that broadcast coverage for you tomorrow on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10. Really looking forward to that one. All right, let's wrap it up. We're going to go find a warm place, warm back of the studio. Matt Crawford and Caleb Falero, they've got our Extra Point post-game scoreboard show coming up. Thanks to each of our sponsors supporting our coverage of Musselman in the playoffs, including Berkeley County Health Department, Anthony's Pizza in Inwood and Spring Mills, the Mirius Group and Ameriprise Financial Advisors, John Everson and Phil McCoy, Bechtel Jewelers, Brown's Funeral Home, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, and Parsons Ford. Thanks to both head coaches, athletic directors, providing information and interviews for our broadcast here today. And, of course, we thank you for joining us on all of our broadcast platforms. Our TV 10 cameraman, Chip Rittenhouse. For Vic Holmes, I'm Matt Miller. Matt Crawford, Caleb Falero back at the studio. We'll send it to them after this quick break. It is Musselman getting the win tonight over Ripley by the final of 52-7. Until tomorrow, so long, everyone.
To see the inspirations of Mishu's tuxedo collection, look to the sky and stars. For the jewelry itself, come to Bechtel Jewelers for the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th. These playful pieces are a wonderland of sparkly blacks and whites, plus other festive colors. Gems like shimmering black druzy, onyx, and ice quartz adorn silver and gold. Enjoy sophisticated everyday elegance at the Trunk Show, November 23rd and 24th, and let your inner sparkle shine. Only at Bechtel Jewelers, Route 11 South, Inwood.
And we welcome you back into the Extra Point post-game show. Matt Crawford here with you in the studio. Caleb Falero running the TV side of things, a tag team effort tonight and all the way through the playoffs. Caleb, thanks for being here again. Tonight, big win for the Musselman Applemen. They return to the semifinals in the state of West Virginia for the first time since 1999 and did it in very convincing fashion, 52-7 over Ripley. Let's get it started with some highlights. No scoring in the first quarter, no scoring in the fourth quarter. So it was a tale of 2 quarters, at least offensively, for the Musselman Applemen. Let's get it started with the first touchdown of the game, and in the second quarter was all Blake Hartman. This from 36 yards out to make it 6-0.
Awaiting the snap, he's got it, hands it to the deep man, that's Hartman. Off the left side of the line, he's into the secondary. It's a foot race as he gets inside the 20, cuts back to his left at the 12, and then heads into the end zone for the Musselman Appleman touchdown. 36 yards on the TD run for Blake Hartman.
A missed two-point conversion, keeping it just at that 6-0 score. But Blake Hartman will score on the next drive from 5 yards out. A two-point conversion successful this time, 14-0 after this run.
They line up with that three-man stick eye again to the left side of the quarterback in the shotgun. Handoff goes to Hartman off the left side, pounds it into the end zone for the Musselman-Appleman touchdown. Ran into the back of the pile at about the 2, but bounced to his left and went in for the score.
He had 2. He wanted the hat trick in the second quarter, and he got it. Blake Hartman's 3rd touchdown of the first half and 3rd in the second quarter. This from the goal line, just 1 yard out to make it 21-0 after 2 quarters of play.
Three-man eye again to the left of the quarterback with Beard in the shotgun. Hands it off to Hartman. Hartman at the goal line. Met. He's in for the Musselman-Appleman touchdown. Able to get that ball across the plane of the goal line. And that is the 3rd touchdown of the first half for Blake Hartman.
Misspoke just a tad. That would be the last touchdown of the first half. Luke Barger would add a 27-yard field goal just about as time expired. I think there was just about a second left after the field goal, but he would make it 24-0, and that would be your halftime score.
Well, let's make it a 27-yard attempt. It'll be set down at the 17-yard line along the near side hash mark. The snap back a little high, but the hold is down. Luke Barger puts it up, and he puts it through. Luke Barger, the 6'3" sophomore, with 1.4 seconds left in this first half, now makes it a 24-0 lead for Musselman.
In the third quarter, it was Trey Beard and Ethan Wilson connecting a couple of times. So, while it was Blake Hartman in the first half, I guess you can say it was Trey Beard and Ethan Wilson in the second half. The first touchdown pass of the game, this a 62-yard bomb, Beard to Wilson to make it 31-0.
Beard claps the hands together, has that shotgun snap. He throws along the near side. Hash mark caught by Ethan Wilson to the 45, far side 40, a foot race to the 30, outside the numbers to the 20. He's to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone. It'll be a Musselman-Appleman touchdown. That one covers 62 yards.
The Appleman would extend it to a 38-0 lead. This to Kagan Teets from Trey Beard, 12-yard. Quick little screen pass, and Teets would scamper into the end zone. Again, 38-0 after this touchdown pass, an extra point.
1st and 10 coming. They can still get a first down without getting into the end zone. Beard taking the shotgun snap, throws it out near side. Grab made on a wide receiver screen, and Kagan Teets coming back towards the middle of the field, made the catch, turned it upfield. No one was there as he walked into the end zone for the score.
Just when you think it may be a shutout, a very, very impressive pass. Cyrus Casco to Cameron Ramsey, a 71-yard catch and run. It would be the only touchdown that the Ripley Vikings would score on the day. But after this touchdown, it was 38-7 in the third.
On 3rd down and 13, Casto taking the snap, wants to throw deep along that far side, and caught in stride at the 40-yard line, racing down the far side to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone. Ripley has the touchdown as the grab made by Cameron Ramsey. That one's going to cover 77 yards.
I believe it was actually 71 as Matt Miller came back on and corrected himself on the drive summary. So that a 71-yard touchdown pass, 71-77. It's still a 70-plus yard pass for a team that really struggled moving the ball pretty much the entire game, did Ripley. Well, I said we'd call Ethan Wilson's name one more time. This, a 42-yard catch from Wilson. This was from Trey Beard to make it 45-7.
Moves the football down to the 42-yard line in Ripley territory, where it becomes a 1st down and 10. Empty backfield again for Beard. Claps the hands together, takes the snap, throws deep over the middle, has an open Ethan Wilson. He's got it at the 20, to the 10, and into the end zone for the Musselman-Appleman touchdown. Ethan Wilson is having himself a game, his 2nd touchdown catch of this second half.
And let's ending in an exciting way, and that's just what the Musselman-Appleman did. Their last score of the game came in the third quarter. It was a 15-yard fumble recovery returned for a touchdown by Chris Reinhardt. 52-7 will be your final, and it would come after this fumble recovery taken back for a touchdown.
Casto out from under center, hands it off to Evans. He was juggling the football. It's free. It'll be picked up, and from the 15-yard line down the middle of the field, racing into the end zone, is that Reinhardt? Yes, it is Chris Reinhardt with the fumble return touchdown for about 15 yards.
Phenomenal game for the Applemen. They dominated on both sides of the football, and through 2 games now in the playoffs, they beat who was John Marshall in the first round. Final score of that one was 60-14. Final of this one 52-7, means 112-21. They're outscoring their opponents the first 2 rounds, and they are heading to the semifinals, and they will get the winner of Martinsburg and Parkersburg. That game tomorrow at 1:30, but Musselman playing very good football right now, playing it at the right time. So 52-7, your final. We're going to take a 1-minute break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the other scores from around the Mountain State tonight, and we'll tell you a record-breaking final that is from the state of Maryland, and the nation's longest winning streak snapped tonight, and it's got a special meaning to Talk Radio WRNR. We'll tell you about that next. This is the Extra Point Postgame Show and West Virginia playoff football on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Want to cut your cooling costs this summer? With a highly efficient York air conditioning system, you can save up to 50% in energy cost while enjoying more consistent temperatures throughout your home. Call Appalachian Heating and Air, your local York dealer, at 304-260-5644 to schedule a free evaluation of your system and learn how you can move up to a new level of comfort and efficiency this summer. AppalachianHeatAir.com.
When you or a loved one needs medical attention, but the thought of spending several hours in a waiting room makes you feel even worse, did you know at WVU Medicine Urgent Care Centers you can get in line before you leave the house? WVU Urgent Care's online scheduling allows you to wait more comfortably at home or wherever is convenient. Simply visit our website at uhpurgentcare.com and select an arrival time. WVU Medicine Urgent Care, with 3 convenient locations in Charlestown, Inwood, and now open in Spring Mills.
Welcome back into the Extra Point post-game show. Final from our game tonight, it was Musselman big over the Ripley Vikings 52-7. Again, through 2 rounds of playoff football in AAA and the Eastern Panhandle, with the Musselman Applemen outscoring their opponents through the first 2 rounds, 112-21. Again, the 52-7 win tonight, and last week it was 60-14 as they got the win over John Marshall. And I do believe, before we go to our next break, we will have the head coach of the Musselman Applemen joining us live on the WVU Medicine Berkeley Medical Center talk line to talk about that phenomenal game. So we will hear from Brian Thomas, hopefully within the next couple of minutes. But let's start with some scores from around the Mountain State. And we're going to start in AAA, the only other game in AAA going on tonight. It was Spring Valley. They were taking on Huntington, and a shutout for Spring Valley. They win big, 36-0. So a phenomenal game for Spring Valley. They did a phenomenal job again tonight. They've won big their first 2 games too. 77-7 was their win over Spring Mills last week, and then 36-0. So not only is the offense scoring a lot of points, but the defense playing absolutely phenomenal right now. That's the only game in AAA tonight. Let's go to AA. Only 1 game in AA tonight. It was number 3 Bridgeport over Robert C. Byrd. That was a 3-6 matchup. Number 3 Bridgeport gets the win over number 6 Robert C. Byrd, 42-7. That was the only AA game in action tonight. Let's go with single A football, where all the games were tonight. So all 4 of the quarterfinal games were tonight in single A. The finals, we have the final from number 2 Midland Trail over number 7 Sherman. Final of that one, 20-14. So the final in single A right there. The other final we have is Doddridge County, the 4 over number 5 Cameron. Final of that one is 27-0. Both those games in single A are final 2 games that we assume are getting very, very close. A third quarter was the last update of number 1 Wheeling Central over Magnolia. 33-13 was the score then, so I assume that just hadn't been updated in a while. And another game that is still not final yet, but in the fourth quarter. It is number 6 Williamstown right now looking to get the upset over number 3 Mountain View. We'll try to get you finals before that game ends. All right, let's go to the WVU Medicine Berkeley Medical Center talk line. The head coach of the Musselman Applemen, Brian Thomas. Coach, congratulations on the win and getting back to the semifinals.
Hey, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, just talk us through this win. Again, a dominating win, really, on both sides of the football yet again for your squad.
Hey, first off, you guys said thanks for getting back. I've never been here before, so
first time since '99. So the school is getting back.
You're right, first time to school since '99. But man, just outstanding effort by our kids. You know, it was tough, and it was tough for Ripley too. But tough for us getting 2 days off school. Kind of not being able to be around our kids. Not being able to practice yesterday. It was kind of weird, and as a head coach, you worry about the focus. And all that goes along with it. But, man, our kids came in, and they were just so zoned in. Such a great group of kids, man. I told them tonight, I said they could go from, like, dancing in the locker room, acting like idiots, and then the next minute, all of a sudden, they're focused in and winning football games. So it's just, a lot of credit to our kids, just, the effort, the focus, the things that you look for as a head coach, that they came out and they did tonight.
I'm sure you got to love that as a head coach, having guys that can be relaxed when it's time to step between those hash marks. They know it's game time.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, this group of, I'll be honest with you. I told some of our kids this. I really didn't know coming into this year. I mean, we lost a big senior class last year, a really good group. Coming in, there were a lot of question marks. A lot of kids we had to replace, and I really didn't know kind of what direction we were going to go in. But our kids have been so determined this year and just, focused and really determined, and they've grown up and matured a lot. And, for me, that's great because I don't have to worry about, our leadership's been great from our seniors, and I don't have to come out and worry about, I got to make sure they do this or I got to make sure they do that, because a lot of times they do that stuff themselves.
Talk to us about what was going on in that first quarter. Really couldn't get anything going those first couple of drives, and then the second and third quarter, just you all couldn't be stopped.
Yeah, they came out. I think there's a couple reasons behind it. I think one of them is because we didn't have, we didn't have the school, and I think we were a little sluggish there at the start. Football. I mean, the kids and coaches, we're routine guys. We like to get in routines, and we haven't got to, take snaps or walk through anything together for a couple days. I think that was a little bit of a reason. Another reason is, a lot of credit to Ripley because they played, coming into the game, they played about 3 defenses, and we had to kind of prep for all of them. We weren't really sure what they were going to give us, so we had a lot of questions coming in. And once we were able to get our kids at the sidelines and kind of calm them down and the excitement of that first quarter, and we were really able to see what they were in and what they were doing to us, we were able to attack, the areas that we thought, what plays would work in the areas we thought that they were weak at.
On the offensive side of the football, last week you couldn't talk about a highlight without mentioning Trey Beard. This week, while Beard was involved, obviously, in that quarterback position, it was a lot of other guys getting involved. Is it nice to see a full-on team effort tonight?
Yeah, our guys are very unselfish and, great kids, and they talk a lot about, we talk a lot about, blocking for each other and helping each other out. And they do a really good job of that. We work on a couple drills every day where, it's just you blocking for your buddy and blocking for each other. And they do a great job of doing that. But, we talk a lot about if the ball's not coming to you, you have to run your route. Like Ethan Wilson had a really long touchdown on one of the routes. And, you see his run and his catch, and everybody says, oh, great throw, great run, great catch. What you don't see is Blake Hartman ran his route really hard, to take his defender out of the play to open the window for Ethan. So it's a lot of, it's a lot of just these kids caring for each other. We had a lot of big, Trey had a great game tonight. Blake had a good game. Sebastian Oldham, Ethan Wilson, Kagan Teets. I know he had 1 touchdown, but, we had a lot of big plays from a lot of different guys tonight, which, as a coach, that's great to see because, one, it makes us a little bit tough to prepare for because you don't know which guy to sit on. And then the other reason, just because, you preach team, and you got so many guys that are giving that effort, and it's great not to just say, hey, we're a one-man team. It's great to be an actual team.
On that defensive side of the football, forcing 4 fumbles, how crucial were those takeaways?
Outstanding by our defense. Outstanding by our defense just to come out and I think turnovers, any coach would tell you turnovers are so huge in a game, but, I think, I imagine, I don't know off the top of my head, I'll have to go back and watch the film, but I'm sure we got points off of all those turnovers. But, anytime you force 4 turnovers in a game, then I think you got a pretty good chance to win. But, a lot of that's a credit to our kids because they're so aggressive and they're just flying after the football and attacking.
All right, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, but where are you going to be tomorrow about 1:30?
Okay, well, let me give you the honest answer here. I was shoveling today at Spring Mills High School from about 9 a.m. until about 3 p.m., and then I went over to the field. So, to be honest with you, yeah, I might go in there, but I also might just sleep in and take a nap and enjoy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know yet. I might go watch the game, but to be honest with you, I might just hang out with my family and stay home and relax and enjoy the win. I don't know.
Well, you've definitely deserved the relaxing day after all the stuff you and your staff had to go through today to get that field ready. And the big question, is it going to depend on who wins, or do you have a set time that you guys are going to want to play next week?
To be honest with you, I haven't really thought about it. Right now, yeah, it does depend who wins, because if Parkersburg wins, then they're the guys picking. But if I'm not lying, I really haven't thought about it yet. I was so focused in and honed in on this one, and I'm such a one-game type of guy that I really haven't considered it. I really, to be honest with you, I haven't been in this position where, I haven't been to the semis as a head coach where I've had to sit back and say, hey, Thanksgiving's Thursday. Do you want to play the next day on Friday? Do you want to play on Saturday? Because that state championship game a week later is going to be the same time and day. I don't know. I'm going to have to sit down and think about it. If I knew, I promise you I'd tell you guys, but I really don't know.
Coach Brian Thomas, the Musselman. Musselman is one of the 4 teams that is going to be playing in AAA next week, back in the semifinals for the first time since 1999. Coach Thomas, congratulations. We look forward to talking to you this week.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate all you guys, talking to me, and then all you guys do for West Virginia high school football.
Well, we appreciate you joining us tonight. Again, Coach Brian Thomas joining us on the WVU Medicine Jefferson Medical Center talk line. Final from that one again, 52-7 for the first time since 1999. The Musselman-Applemen are heading back to the semifinals. All right, we got to take another 1-minute break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the games going on tomorrow. We'll talk about that team that had their win streak shattered. It was a nationwide win streak, the longest in the country. And we'll take a look at what's going on in college basketball as we get ready to join the WVU Mountaineers after we're off today for the end of the second half of action there. You're listening to West Virginia High School football on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
You've waited all year for Black Friday deals.
Black Friday deals at Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Martinsburg means great deals all over the lot. Like 2018 Ram Crew Cab Diesel with $10,500 off, or a 2018 Jeep Compass Sport for $19,855. How about a 2018 Jeep Renegade with $4,750 in rebates? Get over $6,000 off a 2018 Challenger SXT, or $8,000 off a 2018 Charger. Get great deals like these and more with the Black Friday deals at Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Kelly Island Road, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Stock numbers 18527 and 18133. All payments based on approved credit, taxes, tags, and processing fees extra. See dealer for details.
Welcome back into the Extra Point post-game show. Matt Crawford here with you in the Talk Radio WRNR studios. Big thanks to Coach Brian Thomas for joining us after that big win tonight. Again, our final 52-7. Musselman moving on to the AAA state semifinals for the first time since 1999. The first time Coach Brian Thomas has done it as a head coach. All right, well, we told you about the finals from tonight. Again, it's Spring Valley also moving on to the semifinals in AAA. They get the 36-0 win over number 7 Huntington. Spring Valley, the number 2 seed. One game in AA. Tonight it was number 3 Bridgeport over number 6 Robert C. Byrd, 42-7. All these single A games but one are officially final. Number 2 Midland Trail over number 7 Sherman in single A. 20-14 the final in that. Number 6, Williamstown with the upset over number 3, Mountain View. That game just went final 23-12. Again, Williamstown, the number 6, upsetting number 3, Mountain View. And number 4, Doddridge County shutting out number 5, Cameron, 27-0. All but over with the number 1 team in single A. Number 1, Wheeling Central, 40. Number 9, Magnolia, 13. Wheeling Central really running away with that one in the fourth quarter, but not quite final yet. All right, let's take a look at what else is going on tomorrow. We mentioned we will have the Martinsburg game starting here. Our coverage starts at 12 with a abbreviated Miller time. Then our pregame, the official Bulldog pregame, will start at 12:30. That's number 1 Martinsburg welcoming the Big Reds, number 9 Parkersburg. Parkersburg coming in with a record of 7-4. They beat Wheeling Park last week, 28-21 in a tight game. And Hedgesville is in action tomorrow in the quarterfinals. The number 11 Eagles are in the state capital, taking on number 3 Capital. The Capital Cougars coming in at 10-1 on the season. Both those games at 1:30. We will have scoring updates of that Hedgesville game tomorrow during the Martinsburg game. And in AA, 3 games in action tomorrow. Fairmont Senior, the number 1 seed, will take on number 8 Point Pleasant. Number 2 Bluefield will take on number 7 Kaiser. That game was postponed from today till tomorrow at 4 p.m., so an odd time with the WVSSAC mandating that either 7:30 start time on Friday, 7:30 start time on Saturday, or 1:30 start time on Saturday afternoon. Kind of interesting that is a 4 p.m. game, but guess they got permission. Again, that is number 2 Bluefield, number 7 Kaiser, and number 4 Nicholas County will welcome number 12 Weir. That game also tomorrow. We will have finals from that game and scoring updates from that game throughout our Martinsburg coverage tomorrow. All right, before we take a look at college basketball and send you down to Myrtle Beach, where it's WVU taking on Western Kentucky, let's take a look at a record that was shattered tonight. Damascus, AA out of Maryland, had won 54 consecutive games. 54 is a nationwide streak is the number 1 streak in the country for high school wins. 54 was blowing everybody else out of the water. And tonight, the 5 seed Oakdale upsets them 24-7. And not only is that big just for high school football across the country, but that hit home right here at Talk Radio WRNR. The running backs coach and special teams coach for the Oakdale Bears is our own Rob Mario, who is the host of Eastern Panhandle Talk with Rob and Dave in the morning. So he is part of that coaching staff, texting him back and forth throughout the end of his game and going into our post-game show, and he is just, obviously he's just through the roof. So congratulations to Coach Mario I guess they know him as Coach LaCicero on that side of South Mountain, but congratulations to Rob and the rest of his Oakdale Bears as they're moving on to the semifinals. They will be one of the 4 left. Those 4 will get reseeded in the state of Maryland, and then the semifinals will be next week. So again, Damascus had a 54-game win streak snapped, no longer the longest win streak in the nation because of the Oakdale Bears. They get the win 24-7. So not even a close game. So congratulations to Coach LaCicero, Rob Mario, as you and I know him, and the Oakdale Bears. All right, let's send you out to Myrtle Beach, send you down to Myrtle Beach. It is the second half of action, 15:37 remaining in the second half, and it is a tight game, a lot tighter than I think Mountaineer fans would want right now. 39-37, WVU has the lead over Western Kentucky in the Myrtle Beach Invitational, so let's send you there right now. Again, our final tonight, it is Musselman moving on to the state semifinals. They get the win over Ripley, 52-7. Our coverage of Martinsburg will start at 12 tomorrow with the pregame at 12:30, abbreviated Miller time, a half hour before that. 1:30 is the kickoff on all of our entities tomorrow. TV, radio, app, WRNR TV on YouTube. You can watch it or listen to it anywhere, but we encourage you to get out there and take your radio or your phone with you. Again, our final of the night, 52-7. Musselman gets to win over Ripley. Now let's send you to Myrtle Beach, and Tony Caridi has the call. It's WVU right now 39, Western Kentucky 37. Let's send you to the Myrtle Beach Invitational.
And Tavion Hollingsworth will go to the line, and he'll get 2.
Yeah, Beadle just can't get in.